chains holding him down, completely humiliated, backstabbed by the exact people he trusted the most. He watched his only ally get taken down right in his arms. With zero options left, he took a dive into the endless void, but that wasn't game over for him. Grinding time. He goes right back to being the underdog everyone treated like trash. Suddenly, a sacred artifact awakens right inside his chest. The hidden system locked onto him as its host, dropping a massive alert. A mythic class officially triggers. And just like that, everything changed, as an overpowered aura rips the sky apart, rocking stats that can't even be measured. That clowned orphan just evolved into a walking calamity, so everyone who turned their backs on him is getting wiped off the map. Get ready for a flawless revenge run. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's watch the Sword God awaken. It all kicks off on Awakening Day, showing a freezing spot packed with adventurers. Just ahead, they find the entrance to the Death Gate, a high-ranked dungeon. Plus, this spot is known as the very first dungeon level to ever appear, and plenty of fighters haven't made it back. Going against the grain, our MC decides to solo this challenge, even with his life on the line. Su Ming is clearly built different, having just defeated the toughest divine beast of them all. But things get heavy when some scumbags surround the area, demanding our boy hand over the sacred loot he just bagged. The blonde kid claims the era of the slaughter god is over, and tells him to give up. Realizing the truth, our boy sees this was just an ambush while he was busy clearing the dungeon. Right as he looks over, the MC spots the familiar face of Zhang Tong leading this pack of trash. Pointing his weapon, Jane Tang tells him to drop the artifact, saying he won't finish him off just because of their old friendship. Flashing a wicked smile, he warns he's only gonna wipe out all of our MC's skills. Our boy gets pretty disappointed, commenting on how dumb he was to treat that clown like a brother since they were 18. Staring right at the traitor, he realizes just how toxic this dude really is. So our boy finally raises his blade, deciding to show him what happens when you try to steal his loot. The force of the sword is so heavy it makes the whole place shake. Gripping his weapon, Su Ming dares these losers to come and take his sacred ring. However, Zhang Tong's goons hesitate after feeling the crushing pressure coming from that blade. The villain still smirks, fully aware his twisted plan is going perfectly. Suddenly, someone comes flying to the sky, quickly closing in on the chaos. Our MC gets confused by this presence heading his way. Turns out it's the beautiful Ren Xiao man dropping right into the middle of the mess. The moment our boy realizes who it is, he completely drops his guard, running into his arms. The girl says she was deeply worried about the ambush. Relieved, our MC smiles and shares that he secured the sacred item, but he admits he has no clue how those guys found his location. Meanwhile, Zhang Tong watches from a distance with a look that says he predicted every single move. A sharp pain strikes the hero's chest, coming from the person he trusted most. Looking back, Su Ming asks Ren Xiaoman why she did this. The traitor leader cheers and triggers a magic barrier to trap our boy. Right then, a giant magic circle pops up to seal our MC away. Bound by chains, Su Ming understands he's been betrayed by his closest ally. On top of that, Zhang Tong and Ren Xiaoman laugh in his face, revealing they only wanted to steal his power. They actually admit to using our boy's 9-star skill just to grab the sacred loot. Consumed by rage, our MC screams out, trying to break free from that cursed seal. The hunters don't waste any time and launch an attack, wanting to take him down. Out of nowhere, a skeletal hand bursts from the ground and stops the enemies in their tracks. And that's where it gets crazy. A new person appears from the explosion to protect our paralyzed boy. Shocked by the sight, Su Ming wonders how this girl decided to show up right at this moment. This is Ji Yao, and she makes it clear nobody is laying a finger on the MC. The necromancer tells our boy to stay strong since these frauds don't deserve the loot. Furious, Zhang Tong snaps back that even her arrival won't change his fate. Things quickly escalate to a wild level with spells and swords clashing everywhere. Charging forward, the villain orders his men to body anyone who gets in their way. Ji Yao spots danger approaching and warns our MC to stay on high alert. Without warning, the villain hits Ji Yao with a surprise attack. Taking advantage of her lowered guard, he lands a brutal sword strike. Our MC's eyes go wide in pure disbelief watching his only friend get hit. Despite being trapped, he tries to fight back, but Zhang Tong claims it's useless. The scumbag just keeps landing ruthless strikes, aiming to end him fast, almost giving up on his own life. He remembers his friend lying near defeat on the ground. Screaming with all the rage inside him, he triggers a divine skill. A massive explosion rocks the battlefield, blowing everyone away. Reaching out his hand, he catches Ji Yao in his arms and mourns what happened to her. Our MC feels his friend's life slipping away. Smiling through the pain, she tells him not to be sad, saying it wasn't his fault. Right after that, a sword drops straight from the sky. Holding his friend's body, our MC swears to get revenge on every single one of them. Dead serious, Su Ming vows that if he ever makes it back, Ren Xiaoman and Jiang Tong are gonna pay. Those pieces of trash get confused and start panicking, having no idea what our MC is plotting. Suddenly, Jiang Tang realizes our boy's plan is to take the sacred item straight into the Cave of Death. Desperate, the villain starts screaming at his men to stop the NC from jumping into the abyss. Su Ming just looks at them with pure mockery, asking if they really want the ring. Leaping into the void with Ji Yao in his arms, he dares them to come fetch the artifact. As he falls, the golden ring gives off a blinding light, completely washing over our MC before vanishing. Everything goes dark, leaving our boy wondering if he actually met his end in that drop. Then a wildly bright light starts glowing, completely blinding him. The brightness slowly fades, revealing a hand reaching up toward the sky. Glancing around, Su Ming notices he's in a totally different spot and tries to figure out where he is. Just then, a guy grabs a microphone and starts talking to the crowd. Over in the school courtyard, a student raises a staff, bragging about awakening his skills. The loudspeaker announces that Wang Xiang nailed the ceremony and became a 3-star enchanter. Watching this play out, our MC notices the crowd's luck isn't looking too hot. A weird sense of nostalgia hits, and our boy starts realizing this place looks extremely familiar. And no one saw that coming. It clicks that he actually traveled back in time to when he was 18. Staring at the chubby Wang Qiang, he remembers the guy really did become an enchanter back in the day. Our MC begins recalling the exact moment all his classmates are about to step on stage. Meanwhile, a student named Li Songyang celebrates unlocking a 2-star warrior class. Not all the students share that same awakening luck though. The second Song Li awakens as a mage. Our boy confirms everything is playing out exactly like before. Smiling, our guy mutters a few words while processing the whole situation. At that very moment, he knows for a fact he was miraculously sent to the past. Our MC locks his eyes on the stage with hawk-like focus, watching the absolute mess unfold. He wonders if this heaven-sent second chance is his ticket to avenging the betrayal he went through. Suddenly, the crowd loses it because someone just awakened a hidden combat class. Right in the middle of this intense energy, we see Jiang Tong showing off a legendary talent. The announcement quickly confirms the traitor awakened as an 8-star demonic hammer warrior. Watching from afar, our boy remembers how that piece of trash always acted tough thanks to his pureblood family. Things get tense as Su Ming glares at his enemy, eyes full of rage from all those memories. But a hand taps his back, breaking his thoughts and saying they've been looking for him for ages. Feeling the touch, our boy turns his head to see who's sneaking up from behind. To his surprise, he comes face to face with a young-looking Ji Yao. Our MC tries to hide his emotions while the girl asks if something's wrong. Deep down, an image of his friend dying in his arms flashes through his mind. Snapping back to reality, he lets out a smile. The old man announces the next student, calling Ji Yao up while the MC observes from a distance. Walking toward the massive monument, the girl sees the giant energy sphere glowing right in front of her. As soon as she reaches out to touch the light, a weird sensation rushes through her body. Realizing the awakening's power, she is blown away by the intense glow surrounding her. Out of nowhere, a blinding light shoots toward the structure, signaling a rare talent. The glow only gets brighter, confirming the girl just unlocked an ultra-rare skill. It reveals she's become a 7-star necromancer, leaving the entire crowd speechless. People start hyping up the school for having 2 geniuses, while our boy just watches calmly. Soon enough, our MC cracks a smile, already knowing exactly how this ceremony ends. They finally call Su Ming's name, and the crowd starts throwing shade, calling him a futureless orphan. In this awakened-dominated world, the Dragon Realm has become the center of all this mystical power. Ever since Awakening Day hit centuries ago, humans have had to learn how to deal with this new reality. These people completely transformed the planet, building massive, futuristic cities. Because of this, every kid who turns 18 gets a shot at changing their life and becoming a warrior. That glory comes with a steep price though, since they have to face off against terrifying creatures. Which brings us to our MC, standing right in front of a gate. Staring into the portal, our boy reaches out to grab an item from inside. He pulls out a seriously OP sword, showing off his 9-star potential and a legendary tier class, earning himself the title of Slaughter God. The old guy is completely stunned, having never seen anything like this before. Meanwhile, the students start whispering, wondering if a 9-star genius is being born. Our MC just raises his arm straight toward the light, Feeling a familiar vibration from the runes, our boy focuses to receive his new power. Suddenly, a golden light explodes from his chest, and he recognizes the divine ring. Confused, our boy realizes the divine item time-traveled right along with him, followed by a very suspicious screen popping up. The system confirms a successful awakening, announcing Su Ming now holds the mythic sword god class. Frozen in his tracks, the MC watches as bizarre energy takes over the sky. Up on stage, the teacher is losing his mind because he's never witnessed anything this strong. The students start gossiping, claiming this level of brightness has to mean a legendary combat class. Boiling with envy, Zhang Tong refuses to accept being outshined by some random orphan. Through all this, our boy stands still while the energy intensely circles his entire body. Now the little screen prompts our MC to identify himself. Feeling nervous, our boy places his finger on the golden display so the system can run a full user check. Once the scan finishes, the high-tech panel recognizes Su Ming's name and validates the new data. We also spot the new class icon glowing on screen, proving he's the new Blade Master. And just like that, everything changed. He ends up scoring the golden sublimation talent. Staring at the screen, our MC can't believe it, realizing this power level is way beyond what he had in his past life. So our boy cracks a smile, knowing the tables have completely turned in his favor. Aiming to test this power, the kid raises his hand to open his skill interface for the first time. He gets pretty bummed out when he checks the panel and sees his proficiency level sitting at exactly 0%. Left speechless, a drop of sweat rolls down his face as he stares at the empty screen. He wonders what kind of sick joke the system is playing on him. Meanwhile, the crowd starts getting restless, wanting to know if the kid is finally done. Su Ming starts mildly panicking because he doesn't have a single skill. Right then, the panel starts glowing differently, initiating the recognition of the sacred ring. Catching on to what's happening, our boy is stunned to see the divine item connecting with the screen. The system identifies the ring, unleashing a massive energy surge that shakes the very ground. Facing that giant screen, our boy feels that something big is about to go down. Out of nowhere, a massive pillar of light pierces straight through the sky. The old man almost falls over from the force, wondering what on earth is happening. He's asking why a colorful 10-star symbol appeared in the sky, proving our boy's talent surpassed his past life. Our guy steps back out, leaving the entire crowd in absolute shock. They start whispering that the MC is an actual monster for reaching this power level. Jiang Tang is terrified, refusing to accept the guy he used to mock is now miles ahead of him. Holding the microphone, the teacher shouts that this year is making history. Finally, the man announces that even as a swordsman class, Su Ming's level is limitless. Su Ming walks away from the monument, with all the students' eyes glued to him. Then the crowd starts gossiping, claiming the Blade Master class is actually garbage for swordsmen. They explain that this class tries to do everything but ends up being mid at almost every attack type. Naturally, our MC gets pretty annoyed by that comment, but he stays quiet, realizing that in the eyes of those fools, he's nothing more than trash now. Suddenly, Ji Yao comes running over to our boy. Congratulating the MC, she shows how happy she is with his results. The girl tells him people are just talking nonsense, guaranteeing he'll rise above it with his skills. Thanking her, Su Ming admits he couldn't care less about what the students think. Truth is, he figures this negative reaction is exactly what he wanted all along. The announcer cuts our MC's thoughts short, calling the next student up. At that moment, a pretty red-haired girl steps out from the crowd. It's Ren Xiaoman, strutting confidently toward the monument with Zhang Tong wishing her luck. Without hesitating, our MC turns his back to leave the area. Ji Yao asks if he wants to watch the finale, but he lets her know he's not interested. Deep down, our boy vividly remembers exactly how that traitor played him. She had zero mercy on him in the end. Meanwhile, Ren Xiaoman walks up, getting completely hyped up by everyone at the ceremony. Feeling on top of the world, she flashes a smile, knowing she's the center of attention. As he walks down the city streets, the MC decides to completely ignore the school event. Looking at the city, our boy notices things look the same, but he feels that everything has changed. Out of nowhere, the little screen shows a total concealment skill, hiding his true stats from everyone. Staring closely, our boy realizes this skill is perfect for operating in the shadows. This legendary ability lets him alter any info about his class or power level. The ring floats up, glowing with massive energy right in front of him. Thoroughly surprised, our MC can't believe the ring is giving off this much power. The system load fully integrates the sacred ring straight into the MC's stats for a major boost. This is where it gets good. The system notifies our MC that he scored several OP skills from his old combat class. Speechless, our boy notices he now has the power of the sword god mixed with the old slaughter god. Finally, the status screen completes, showing that our MC is undeniably crack. Our guy thinks to himself that being a genius without raw strength is way too dangerous. Therefore, the MC decides he has to hide his true class so no one suspects his actual power level. He knows this second chance is a one-off and he's got to seize the opportunity. Stopping in his tracks, our MC plans out the next steps for his revenge. Along the way, he remembers the beginner dungeon gate is opening soon for all the students. But our boy knows this basic dungeon won't give him the levels he needs to get truly OP. His real goal right now is to track down and body the most broken boss out there. Before that, our MC realizes he needs a sturdy weapon to avoid any close calls. Meanwhile, we see the massive building our MC is heading toward. In another location, Ren Xiaomon is seen getting super cozy with Zhang Tang. The girl talks to Zhang Tang about Su Ming, mentioning his 10-star skill could be highly useful for them. Hearing this, the villain agrees they need to keep our boy on a tight leash. We spot Zhang Tang checking his phone. The girl claims she's going to use her charm to reel our MC right back in. Cutting back, we see the giant building our MC just entered. Up on the 12th floor, our boy walks straight into a pricey wholesale weapon shop. As soon as he steps in, a clerk welcomes him, and he notices the whole place is packed with high-tech gear. Our MC sees a bunch of students walking around, checking out weapons for tomorrow's challenge. Watching the crowd, our boy overhears people complaining that the gear cost an arm and a leg. Right in the middle of the shop sits the famous Frozen Heaven sword going for $1 million. Smirking, our MC remembers that in his past life, this weapon was a complete fake. Out of nowhere, a pretty woman walks up and asks if he is the famous student Su Ming. Handing over her business card, she introduces herself as Zhang Lan, head of a massive financial group. Feels suspicious, our boy says he doesn't know her, but takes the card anyway. However, she lets him know her group will cover every single cost he racks up in the shop today. In exchange for all this funding, the woman states she needs a favor from him. Highly curious, our MC asks what kind of help someone so influential could possibly want from a mere student. Then, she shows a photo of a girl to our boy. She explains that the girl in the picture is her younger sister. Zhang Lan asks our boy to protect her sister inside the beginner dungeon. Staring right at the businesswoman, our boy doesn't like this offer one bit. Without a second thought, Su Ming turns down the request, leaving the woman in disbelief. Raising his finger, our MC asks if she really thought money could buy his loyalty. He points straight at the fake $1 million sword, warning that if she wants a favor, she's gotta pay the price. That $1 million weapon he already knew was a fraud serves perfectly to test the woman's resolve. Startled by the kid's audacity, Zhang Lan asks if he genuinely thinks he's worthy of an SS rank item. Turning his back, Su Ming throws it right in her face that she was the one who said he could pick anything, giving her a tip. Our boy suggests focusing on her sister's training since money can't fix every dungeon problem. Letting out an ironic laugh, Zhang Lan finds the kid super interesting and decides to back off for now. While onlookers whisper that the kid is crazy for crossing such a powerful agent, his phone starts beeping. Grabbing his phone, our boy notices a new notification, curious to see who's hitting him up. Opening the texts, he sees the name belongs to Ren Xiaoman. Reading the message, our MC sees the girl wants to meet him on the school roof tonight. Glaring with anger, Su Ming remembers how in his past life he was a fool who chased right after her. Our MC confirms he'll show up to the meetup. Right after rejecting the proposal, our boy steps up to the counter to talk to one of the clerks, asking if those raw stones can actually drop high-quality weapons. The girl warns the drop rate for something good is tiny, but the hero says that's exactly what he's after. Still, the clerk gets a bit flustered by the MC's confidence. Reflecting on it, he figures buying a silver rink weapon outright is too pricey, so testing his luck is way better. His secret is that he holds a special skill called Eye of Perception. It's a rare ability that lets him see all the real data and stats of any object or material. Picking a stone, the MC smiles, knowing he's only spending 50 coins and walking away with a huge profit. Suddenly, some punks show up, clowning our boy for grabbing a rock. They keep running their mouths, calling that stone pure garbage. Watching the rich kid, our boy remembers how this snob loved to bully him back in the day. Out of nowhere, our MC challenges the spoiled brat, claiming he's gonna pull a rare drop from the stone. Hearing this, the two brats are left completely speechless. Then they burst out laughing at the MC and accept the challenge. The snob even points out the odds of a rare drop are almost zero, but our boy already knows what's coming. And that's where it gets crazy. The system pops up, and our boy tells the brats not to run away. Activating his Eye of Perception, our guy focuses all his attention on the raw rock and spots a legendary sword. Using his strength, he shatters the stone into 1,000 pieces, unleashing an intense light. And the spoiled kids can't believe he actually pulled a rare blade. Gripping the sword, our boy finally feels the weight of a real weapon. The crowd surrounding the MC is completely stunned by the scene. Checking the stats, the system confirms it's a black iron sword with a highly OP healing skill. Staring at the blade, our boy thinks this gear is absolutely perfect for the meetup. Yang Ding is visibly outraged by our MC's insane luck. On top of that, our MC scans the black iron sword again and spots a life drain ability. Sweating bullets, Yang Ding just stares at the tip of the blade. Flashing a tiny smile, our boy lets them know it's time to pay up the 5,000 coins they owe. As soon as the brat pays off his debt, he vows to get revenge, while the clerk watches our boy's feet in pure disbelief. Right after that, our boy decides to drop all his winning cash on a fancy scabbard. The system notifies him of acquiring a silver rank item, which cuts weapon wear and tear in half during combat. Holding his fully complete gear, our MC feels relieved to finally have his weapon. Out of nowhere, a system warning pops up about a hidden function to materialize the weapon, but our boy prefers to leave it off. Looking closely, the kid plans to use his hidden skill to spike that blade's power level. Meanwhile, city life goes on as usual with folks playing basketball. We see our MC reflecting that despite having no active skills from his mythic class, his primordial talent is what really changes the game. The system states the sublimation technique lets him upgrade the quality of any item or gear he finds along the way. Activating this power, a bizarre red energy wraps around the metal and he feels his strength surging. The weapon transforms into a bloodthirsty sword, which not only heals the MC, but also buffs all his stats after every kill. Satisfied, our MC knows that with these stat buffs, the dungeon is gonna be a breeze. Time passes and we see night has fallen. Standing on top of the building, our boy gets ready with his sword. Moving forward, Ren Xiaoman is already waiting for our MC on the roof, gazing out at the city. The second she notices our boy's arrival, the traitor cracks a smile, but the vibe shifts fast when she glances back and feels a chill down her spine. Suddenly, a blade tears through the air. Ren Xiaoman lets out a scream that echoes across the whole building. Shaking with fear, she asks what has gotten into our MC. Giving her a cold stare, our boy tells her he came here to get his revenge. He still perfectly remembers the traumatic moment from his past life. Completely lost, the girl starts yelling that she accepted his confession. Flashing her phone, she shows the text where our boy used to beg for a chance to be by her side. Our boy just flashes a smile. He quickly remembers she was always the prettiest girl in school while he was just some orphan. Our MC used to rest in the classroom right after awakening. And, out of nowhere, Ren Xiaoman would walk up all sweet, asking if he was feeling sick. Recalling those moments, he received all the affection he ever dreamed of. The text message also pops up showing the love confession he sent her, fully believing he'd have a happy future right next to her. Remembering all that closeness was just her using him, he gets undeniably furious. Right after, the memory of her and Jantan's betrayal hits him. Filled with rage, he screams at the top of his lungs, claiming that whole good phase of his life was built on a lie. Our MC throws it in her face that he already uncovered all her dirty schemes. Left with zero options, the girl has no clue what to do. But our boy keeps going, telling her she knows damn well he's completely right, because that mask of the perfect, generous girl she wears isn't fooling anyone anymore. Gritting her teeth in anger, she realizes her manipulation just went straight down the drain. Trying to strike a nerve, she screams that he's just a trashy orphan. Instead, our MC just turns to leave while she yells that Jiang Tang is gonna destroy him. Chuckling mockingly, our boy advises her to worry more about her own image. Consumed by rage, Ren Xiaoman feels utterly humiliated by a piece of trash like him. Grabbing her sword, she tries to take our MC's life. Leaping at him with full force, she attempts a fatal strike, but our boy just stands there. And no one saw that coming. A sinister red energy starts swirling around his sword. The system confirms the blade's blood drain ability activated perfectly. A surge of dark power explodes across the roof, slicing right through the wind, showing the spoiled girl's vital energy getting siphoned to buff the MC. Drained of strength, the loser collapses on the ground. Looking down at her, our MC points out she's reaping exactly what she sowed. Still on the floor and completely wrecked, the girl cries out of pure hatred. Remembering his past with Ren Xiaoman, he loses the drive to get his revenge on her. His sword starts glowing blue. The blade shatters into fragments as our MC turns to leave, telling her to let her little boyfriend know to come find him if he's actually got the guts. Walking away, our MC leaves her all alone. Suddenly, the system pops up with a special gift from Director Wang, sending him a strengthening pill, adventurer gear, and 10,000 coins. The moment the sun rises, our boy is already up, holding the strengthening pill the director gave him. Swallowing it whole, our MC complains about the taste but thanks the principal for the assist. Immediately, the system notifies him of a level up, rewarding him with 10 extra points to spend however he wants. On the status screen, it reveals the new original sword body skill, letting the MC learn any technique. Heading toward the school, our boy feels significantly more confident. Staring at the horizon, our guy says today he's gonna unleash his full power in the beginner dungeon. We then see the academy's main entrance, packed with students gathered for the annual challenge. As students crowd the courtyard, the loud chatter makes the vibe super energetic around the massive gate. Glancing sideways with a bored look, our MC realizes nobody there has a clue about the power level he's actually packing. Suddenly, 3 guys show up asking to join his squad, clearly eyeing his 10-star talent and the director's items. Knowing they're just gold diggers, our boy brushes them off instantly, lying that his party is already full. Running toward him, looking panicked, Ji Yao asks if it's true he already has a team, completely caught off guard by the news. She claims she ran over as fast as possible just to ensure she'd be the first to fight beside our boy. Worried about the mission's danger, our MC thinks his goal is way too risky and doesn't want his friend getting hurt. Finally, our boy quietly admits he plans to solo the whole thing, but someone suddenly walks up to talk to him. A blue-haired kid named Yan Zhe introduces himself as a 9-star demon hunter and invites the hero to his squad. Furthermore, our MC remembers this guy was also a powerful awakened in his past life but politely declines the invite. Stepping up, Ji Yao announces to everyone that our boy is already on her team and tells them to stop bothering him. We also see our MC thinking about how solid and reliable his friend is for having his back. Glancing at the old clock on the pole, our boy realizes the exact moment the dungeon opens has finally arrived. Suddenly, the official warning for the start of Challenge 1227 pops up, and the gate starts glowing. Up on the big screen, Director Wang apologizes for being at home, admitting he lost track of time and overslept today. He explains that this one-day journey is a mandatory rite of passage for all newly awakened students at the school. The second the students cross the entrance, the system will automatically ID them and log all the data for the test. Plus, the master warns that final rewards depend entirely on each warrior's contribution level during the intense fights. But he emphasizes that forming parties is the best strat to keep anyone from getting badly hurt by the bizarre creatures inside. Agreeing with the rules, Ji Yao gets a massive scare when she notices our boy is no longer standing next to her. Yelling that it's time to start, the director orders all students to enter the portal immediately so they don't waste valuable time. The crowd goes into shock, noticing our MC was the first to jump ahead of everyone without waiting for a soul. Walking through the light, our boy feels a strange nostalgia, remembering how terrified he was of this place full of deadly monsters and hidden trials in his past life. Locking his gaze, our guy decides that in this life he's picking the hardest challenge of all, taking down the final hidden boss. Right after, we see he landed in the Raging Tide Forest, an F-rank spot loaded with hidden dangers in the woods. Scanning the scenery, our MC realizes the beginner dungeon map changes randomly every single year. Moreover, our boy notices this location is completely different from what he faced in his past life, which changes everything. The system explains that spawn points inside the portal are random, meaning everyone has to map out their own route. Staring intensely, the guy understands the monsters he'll run into here won't be the same as before either. Out of nowhere, our boy comes face to face with a giant tree, an elite monster capable of burning anyone caught in its branches. Aiming to only fight the secret boss, our MC decides his best move right now is dodging these annoying mobs and saving his energy. Activating his tech panel, our boy starts mapping out the path to track down the items he needs for his real challenge. However, he knows if too many students jump in at once, gathering all the required loot for his mission is going to be a massive pain. Leaping nimbly, our guy starts sprinting, needing to use the solo time to clear the route and reach his objective fast. As the clock hits 7:30 in the morning, Ji Yao spawns at the portal looking around the woods to spot the hero. We also see other students whispering that the place looks pretty empty and quiet, giving them a false sense of security. Suddenly, Ro feels something off and warns her party to stay sharp after catching some weird movement in the bushes. Finally, a mysterious blur goes rushing by in the distance, putting all the students on high alert to figure out who is moving that fast. Screaming for help, a student runs in total panic as the ground shakes from something terrible approaching. Plus, the other guys around him totally panic, realizing the situation just went way out of control. We also see a bloodthirsty swarm of giant rats charging straight at the rookies. The system drops a real-time report confirming 3 challengers just lost their lives. Shocked by the news, Ji Yao notes that even strong warriors got taken down incredibly fast. Meanwhile, another student runs out of breath through the forest, desperately trying to find a safe hiding spot. To her despair, she realizes she got separated from her party and is totally alone in the woods. Watching her every move, some camouflaged monster stalks the girl as she tries to figure out where to run. Despite that, the young girl feels a chill down her spine because the silence proves a predator is nearby. Suddenly, a massive shadow covers her body, and absolute terror takes over her. A a monstrous monkey with glowing red eyes drops from the trees, showing it won't show an ounce of mercy. Like a starving beast, the creature winds up for an attack while the student squeezes her eyes shut. Begging for help one last time, the girl believes nobody is going to make it there in time. Unexpectedly, a flaming blade slices the sky with insane speed, landing a direct hit on the enemy. Our MC finally shows up, destroying the opponent with a heavy strike and saving his classmate's life. A guy lies on the ground completely terrified, feeling like his end is approaching in that bizarre dungeon. Furthermore, a level 5 elite bear shows up with massive claws, attacking the poor kid who has zero chance to defend himself. Our boy hasn't made it to the spot yet, but things get heavy as the student screams in pure panic when the beast hits him. Meanwhile, multiple level 2 swamp hunters surround other groups, proving these mobs are working in packs. We also catch a level 3 hunting hound leaping onto another student, who totally panics, saying his end up close. Right after the system warns that teleport point 9 is surrounded, and the guy begs for backup over the radio. However, a giant level 5 lizard looking like a dragon steps out, striking even more terror into the crowd's hearts. On top of that, the monsters keep pouring in non-stop from the 11 o'clock direction, leaving all the rookies trapped with no way out. A girl checks her tech interface and realizes her 5-man squad is getting absolutely bodied by the enemies. Sadly, she watches almost all her teammates get wiped out, and despair fully takes over right in the middle of the fight. But the young girl only managed to hide because her friends sacrificed themselves, giving her a window to bolt through the brush. It's only been half an hour since the challenge started though, and the student realizes the difficulty is absolutely insane for mere rookies. That's why she wonders if any of the newly awakened will actually make it out of this cursed place, full of real danger alive. Suddenly, our MC flashes by like lightning, wiping out the nearby creature with a single sword slash. The girl's jaw drops at such raw power, and she thanks our boy, recognizing him as the 10-star genius. Su-Ming stands there looking mysterious while the rescued girl asks if he's really the 10-star prodigy. Answering with pure coldness, our MC claims he was just passing through, but warns there won't be a second time. He then drops the bomb that the monster isn't actually dead yet, making the young girl's eyes widen in pure terror. Running as fast as her legs can carry her, the student yells. She's grabbing help and tells our boy to hang in there. Firing up his eye of perception, the hero runs a deep scan to uncover every secret about that bizarre creature. The system quickly pulls up the stats for the level 3 mutant monkey king, showing some seriously high strength traits. Our MC pieces together that being a mutant is exactly how it survived the slashes from his silver rank blade. Still, our boy realizes regular mobs on this F-rank map shouldn't be packing this much defense. Out of nowhere, the beast lunges straight at the hero, attempting a brutal smash that would turn anyone into paste. Keeping his cool, our boy just watches the enemy's movement, getting ready to counterattack in style. Flashing a confident look, the guy decides it's finally time to test drive one of his new legendary combat techniques. Because our MC wants to feel the weight of this divine power, challenging the giant monkey to a pure speed duel. We also catch the screen confirming he inherited several hidden skills from his old Slaughter God class. So the Hidden God step is revealed as his third technique, and the system shows our hero now has a major trump card. Finally, the description explains this power boosts his speed by 50% and grants full immunity to any physical or magic damage. Activating the Hidden God step, our boy gets a wild speed buff and vanishes from the monster's sight in the blink of an eye. While the beast looks lost, our guy respawns right behind the enemy and lets the giant monkey know it's game over. Even though the creature tries to react somehow, Su-Ming's agility is just built different, and he toys with the opponent's sluggishness. With a bored look, our MC mentions the fight lost its spark since the mutant monster can't even land a hit. However, the hero's reflection in the creature's eyes shows that beast's fate has already been sealed by a true blade master. Swiftly, our boy launches a fatal strike with his blade, stating he won't play with the opponent anymore. The system then confirms his absolute victory, showing the mutant monkey king got easily bodied by our hero. We also spot a reward popping up in the air, which turns out to be a bronze rank skill scroll called One Line Slash. Checking out the item, Su-Ming figures that even with a low rank, this technique is going to be a huge help in the starter map. Suddenly, a golden alert flashes across the sky, announcing to every player that the dungeon's first blood has been drawn. As soon as the screen drops the details, everyone notices a level 2 player scored the first elimination and snagged a rare title. This news ripples through the forest, leaving all the other students completely floored since nobody expected a feat like this so fast. On top of that, every participant receives a free healing potion as a bonus, and one girl celebrates finally getting her health back. Naturally, the crowd starts gossiping about whether Su-Ming pulled this off, while our boy realizes he just made a slight miscalculation. Realizing 30 minutes have passed without anyone else getting a kill, he decides to pop total concealment and vanish into the shadows. Su-ming keeps walking through the dense forest but quickly notices he isn't alone anymore in that gloomy setting. Stepping out from the dark, a pack of hungry level 3 wolves appears with their eyes glowing in pure malice. Our guy doesn't show an ounce of fear, figuring this is the perfect moment to test drive his brand new attack. Without hesitating, the MC triggers his sublimation talent once again to give that skill scroll a major upgrade. That basic bronze ranked technique starts shining intensely, undergoing a bizarre and seriously powerful transformation. Confirming the upgrade, the system shows the skill evolved to silver rank, turning into a deadly quick draw sword slash. As the beasts gear up for their final pounce, our boy just takes a deep breath and waits for the perfect window. With lightning speed, the hero unleashes a massive blue energy arc that slices through anything standing in his way. The MC unloads that blue energy strike, slicing the first monster, while the system alerts him to an 80 experience point gain. This carnage keeps rolling as he wipes out 10 beasts in a single go, securing another 800 points for his stash. Tallying up every elimination, the system shows 100 wolves just got bodied, scoring our boy a whopping 8,000 experience points. By 9:30 in the morning, our MC chills for a sec while gripping his weapon coated in his fallen enemy's blood. Smirking, he watches the system confirm he hit level 9, even unlocking the legendary Wolf Hunter title on the side. He scans the battlefield full of bodies, mentioning that spamming the quick draw technique is the easiest way to wipe the map. Gripping his sword hilt tight, he gears up for another round of heavy strikes against the starving pack. Totally locked onto his objective, the guy starts charging up some wild energy to pinpoint the next targets roaming nearby. With a determined glare, our MC decides it's time to unleash all that built-up power in one single motion. Swinging the blade at a cracked speed, he executes a sweeping slash that glows with an intense blue hue. The attack creates a massive shockwave, sweeping away everything in its path and sending the monsters flying with zero mercy. Hitting the opponents dead on, the impact's force is so heavy, those beasts don't even process what just struck them. But the vibe shifts fast when our boy notices some sketchy movement coming from deep inside the smoke. And that's where it gets crazy. A massive explosion rocks the forest, revealing the real boss finally decided to show its face. Standing tall, the level 10 Wolf King steps out with glowing red eyes, promising to give our MC a seriously hard time. Right at 8:30 in the morning, a whole new phase kicks off for the other students trying to survive inside the dungeon. We see a handshake sealing a partnership, with the system confirming the rookie's party formation was a total success. Hyped up for a win, the kids jump into action, yelling for everyone to hurry up and match the squad's pace. Starting their counterattack, the crew rushes the monsters since the main force finally arrived to clean up this mess. Meanwhile, one of the guys grips his sword hilt super tight, proving he's ready to fight for his life in this spot. The blue-haired student lands a clean strike on a giant green creature, making the beast feel the full weight of his steel. Despite the danger, the young fighter follows through with his slash, opening a gap in the monster's defense as it roars in pain. Totally amazed by the outcome, the students watch their experience points tick up on screen, jaws dropping at the reward they just bagged. Plus, the system confirms the death of a mutant rat, and the boys cheer, swearing they won't lose to the guy who scored the first kill. Crying tears of pure joy, the blue-haired kid finally hits level 2, feeling like all the grind was entirely worth it. Out of nowhere, a brand new alert flashes in the sky, leaving everyone stunned as it announces another boss monster just went down. The news reveals some level 9 fisherman snagged a leader elimination, leaving the crowd wondering how such a basic class could be so cracked. Rewinding the clock 10 minutes, the scene completely flips as we spot a blue trail slicing straight through the dense forest's dark. Without warning, our boy unleashes that OP technique we saw earlier, striking the giant wolf with surgical precision. Instantly, the beast's health bar drops, with our boy's strike proving who the real master of this cursed place is. Our MC unloads a devastating slash straight through the mutant beast's chest, sending blood flying everywhere. Taking an explosive step, our guy shatters the ground beneath his feet while gearing up to finish the job in absolute style. From high up in the air, our boy warns the wolf not to get cocky just for being a leader, since that arrogance is gonna cost it dearly. Flashing a highly confident smile, Su-ming stares the opponent right in the eyes and reveals that beast's fate is already sealed. And just like that, everything changed. A massive blade of light drops from the sky, splitting the monster in half and ending this wild fight for good. Soon enough, the system confirms the Wolf King is completely toast, and our MC hits level 10, scoring several rare reward items. Over in another part of the forest, the blonde kid Yang Ding looks totally wrecked and dirty after scrapping with some basic mobs. Panting heavily, his teammates stare at the defeated wolves and comment on how hard the exhaustion is hitting them. One of the guys even gives thanks for pulling an attack bonus item, knowing the squad would have been absolutely clowned without it. Yang Ding, however, gets completely furious seeing those sky alerts, wondering how a basic fisherman could be this overpowered. Glaring at his chipped weapon on the ground, the guy realizes his starter gear is straight up trash. Visibly annoyed, the blonde starts complaining he got scammed at the weapon shop, claiming that's why he can't show his true power. Screaming at everybody, he tells his squad to shut up and reminds them he's the one tanking all the damage up front. Suddenly, an image of Su Ming crosses his mind, and he feels a sick wave of envy over all the success our boy is getting. In the end, Yang Ding swears that if he runs into our MC in there, he's gonna body him to let out all this pent-up rage. Our MC crouches down in the brush while watching the golden screen confirm he finally smashed level 10. The system then alerts him that he unlocked his first-class change mission, making the guy realize a golden opportunity just dropped. Recalling his past life, he remembers he only hit this level way after he had already left the rookie starter dungeon. Back then, the mission was E ranks, and he had to grind all the way to level 15 just to handle the heat. This new life is a totally different story though, since our boy hit level 10 while still chilling inside the training map. Quickly, the system reveals his new objective is to hunt down the Red Rock Cave Guardian, which happens to be a pretty cracked elite monster. Hyped by the news, our MC realizes the quest dropped right where he's currently at, making this whole run way easier. To top it off, the hero scores a platinum rank swordmaster skill, letting him equip any heavy weapon while totally ignoring level requirements. The scene shifts over to the First Academy's meeting room where the vibe is getting highly tense among the directors. All the performance data is currently flashing on screen, but our MC's name is nowhere to be found among the top ranks. Scratching his head, the director is totally lost on how a 10-star prodigy like Su Ming completely vanished from the top 500. He even brings up how he gave the kid a starter item pack, fully expecting the young guy to be dominating the entire field. Out of nowhere, the room's door gets forcefully thrown open, interrupting the chat and putting everyone on high alert. Vice Mayor Anne Reinling storms in absolutely furious, demanding to know why the school's top prospect isn't delivering the expected results. Flashing the reports, she complains about being promised an unbelievable genius, yet the stats are showing a totally different reality. The director tries to cool things down, explaining that our boy's class usually has a much slower start compared to the rest. Visibly annoyed, the woman claps back that this doesn't excuse such garbage performance, suspecting the old man is just lying to score tokens. Furthermore, she highlights the success of other students like Yan Zhe and Zhang Tang who are climbing the ranks with zero effort. Because of this, the official decides to slash the Academy's medal quota down to just 2, leaving the director entirely desperate. Even though he tries to negotiate, the vice mayor warns the school has been dead last for ages and might catch a ban from the next tournament. Storming out of the room, she leaves the master all alone to eat the loss and carry the pressure of restoring the school's prestige. With his eyes on the few seals left, the director whispers Su Ming's name, silently praying our boy won't let him down. Cutting back, our boy is shown crouching right at the Red Rock Cave entrance, gearing up to face his major class change challenge. Our MC checks the virtual map and confirms he's at the exact quest spot, thankful he didn't run into any annoying mobs along the way. Stepping inside the pitch-black cave, he mentions he never came here in his past life, feeling curious about what kind of creature might jump out. Still, the vibe gets pretty tense when our guy catches some weird movement, putting on a serious face as he readies up for whatever is coming. Without warning, a massive club brutally smashes the ground, kicking up dust and proving this welcome party is anything but friendly. A level 6 minor goblin steps up next with blue skin and glowing red eyes, glaring at the hero with pure malice. We also catch our MC analyzing the beast up close, wondering if that thing is an actual earth spirit or just one ugly-ass goblin. Wasting zero time, our boy does a quick footwork drill to build momentum, and goes straight for the elimination without giving it a chance to react. The hero then unloads a highly precise slash that hits the monster dead on, while the scream flashes danger warnings from the sheer violence. From up high, our guy realizes he needs to move fast so all this noise doesn't alert the entire cave. Unfortunately, the system flashes in the air, warning that the cave's consciousness has awakened, and goblin mode is fully activated. Heavy footsteps immediately start echoing down the hallway, showing that first beast was just the start of a massive headache. Catching on to the escalating danger, our MC comments that things aren't looking nearly as simple as he originally imagined. Out of nowhere, a massive horde of monsters swarms in, and the system confirms every single goblin in the place is about to ruthlessly hunt our boy. The screen then pops up a bizarre monster's face, explaining that this wild mode makes these creatures act with insane aggression. Staring down dozens of enemies rushing his way, our boy locks in and preps for an all-out war inside this cursed dungeon. Even though he notices the creatures' levels aren't that high, our guy is still blown away by the absurd amount of monsters flooding the zone. Glancing down at his blade with some concern, the MC wonders if his gear's durability is actually going to hold up against this many targets at once. A sudden sense of danger hits, making his eyes go wide as he realizes something way bigger is sneaking right up behind him. From the shadows, a giant goblin steps out with glowing red eyes, proving to be the real nightmare of this cave that could terrify absolutely anyone. As the giant monster swings a massive club strike, our boy has to act fast so he doesn't get squashed like a bug by that raw strength. Strategically placed snipers also pop up, letting arrows fly at the hero to shut down any chance of a clean escape or counterattack. Reacting quickly, our MC uses his blade skills to deflect the barrage, commenting that these beasts are way smarter than they look. Mid-jump, our boy realizes the enemies actually waited for him to be airborne, knowing it's incredibly tough to switch up positioning without footing. Two smaller goblins take advantage of the opening, lunging with sharp blades to pierce through the guy's defense while he's fully boxed in. With a flawless spinning move, our guy slices the air and knocks back the attackers, doing his best to keep his cool and avoid any dumb mistakes. Even though he desperately wants to use his hidden techniques, our MC notices his mana is running critically low, meaning he can't keep up the hidden god step for long. Making matters worse, the system chimes in to confirm he's facing down an entire mob led by an insanely lethal elite goblin. Honestly, our boy admits that taking all these monsters head-on with his limited skill set is going to be a straight-up nightmare challenge. Shifting his feet with quick agility, our guy decides he needs to get flexible in this fight and looks for a way to use the map to his advantage. He finally pulls off a flawless dodge roll, stating he's going to back out of their attack range first to plot his next fatal move. Su Ming feels the nasty buzz of arrows scraping right past him, hitting an evasive maneuver to dodge the archer's coordinated volley. Ducking behind a solid stone pillar, our MC takes a second to evaluate the chaos but notices the enemies are fanning out to box him in for good. Instead of feeling any fear, our boy just drops a cocky smirk and dares the creatures to bring it, treating this deadly setup like child's play. With a loud screech, the monster horde charges Su Ming, totally convinced they're going to win by sheer numbers. Unfazed, our guy unloads a heavy blue energy strike, declaring he's about to hand the enemies a very special gift. His blades rapidly slice through the air while the system spams multiple warnings due to the sheer intensity of the clash, tearing apart every single creature that crosses his path. Our boy proves this entire pack is nowhere near his talent level. From a highly strategic spot, the hero realizes that holding onto the high ground is the absolute key to victory. Seizing the opening, our MC fires off his quick draw slash to casually finish off the stragglers in one fluid motion. Totally relaxed, the guy walks through the pile of bodies, heading out just as the dust finally settles in the cave. Glancing over his shoulder, our boy jokes that he accidentally just solo cleared the entire zone without even trying. To make it official, the elite goblin's health bar hits 0, and the system pops up to validate his cracked run. Hiding deep in the brush, someone keeps their eyes glued to the dungeon entrance, dying of curiosity to see what's happening. The bald student's eyes go wide in total shock as he realizes some insanely heavy action just went down inside that cave. Almost immediately, he points straight at the dark opening, telling his buddies he just heard a downright crazy brawl. Doubting the whole story, the blonde Yang Ding claims it's literally impossible for anyone to be in there with those high-level beasts. But then the blonde's eyes widen as he feels a bizarre energy ripple, realizing his buddy might actually be dead right. Quickly, the whole group goes on high alert, noticing someone is just about to step out from that pitch-black darkness. Yang Ding and his sidekick lay in wait right by the dungeon exit, wondering what kind of madman had the guts to face those monsters. Pushing the limits, the blonde's eyes widen, big time, catching a familiar vibe, and he gasps in surprise as the shadowy figure steps closer. With a totally chill walk, our MC emerges from the cave shadows, realizing fate just played a funny trick by dropping his rivals right in his path. The system shows Su Ming already hit level 11, and Yang Ding gets absolutely furious recognizing the guy who clowned him in that bet earlier. Staring them down with pure disgust, our boy shows zero concern about this little ambush because he knows he's just on a whole different level now. Even though the goons try to flex on him, our MC casually ignores their entire existence and just keeps walking his path. Moving at a crack speed, the hero blasts past the bullies like a streak of light, leaving every single one of them looking like absolute clowns. Pissed off by the dodge, the blonde screams at his crew to surround the hero right now, swearing he won't let the kid slip away this time. Turning his head slightly, our MC mentions he has no intention of running, reminding them they already caught an embarrassing L before. Meanwhile, Yang Dane gets completely flustered by the guy's audacity, and his buddy realizes our boy doesn't even remember who they are anymore. Boiling with rage over being forgotten, the scumbag brings up the 5,000 coins he lost and orders his boys to rush him all at once. With a highly sarcastic smile, our MC watches the enemies scatter and decides this is the perfect moment to test his brand new power. Channeling some wild energy right into his palm, the hero gears up to drop a legendary technique guaranteed to sweep the entire area. Without holding back, he unleashes his sword mastery strike, spawning a destructive arc that completely lights up the forest in blood red. The massive impact instantly blows the attackers away, with their terrified screams echoing around to prove that crossing our boy was a fatal mistake. Our MC follows through with his attack flawlessly, looking down at his opponents scattered on the floor and completely bodied. Still conscious, the blonde kid Yang Ding starts stuttering in pure disbelief because he actually recognizes that legendary sword control technique. The clown goes into absolute shock, realizing the hero already mastered a skill meant strictly for hunters at a way higher level. What he doesn't know is our boy actually used his sublimation talent to turn a basic scroll into a seriously OP gold rank item. Deep down, our boy figures this flashy skill will definitely make everyone believe he's genuinely part of the Swordmaster class. Strolling right to the wreckage, the guy celebrates scoring the location map for the cave's secret chest as a sweet reward. Right on cue, the system pops up the high-tech interface, locking in the exact coordinates for the final prize our MC has been hunting. But out of nowhere, the hero drops a surprised look when he reads the details about the new destination popping up on his screen. Turns out the map actually shows a second half to the Red Rock Cave, buried way down in the depths of that gloomy spot. Plus, the mission's title mentions the life and business of monsters, leaving our boy extremely curious about this whole bizarre setup. At exactly 11:30 in the morning, a massive burst of flames goes off while a group of girls celebrates their win against the forest beasts. Proving they can totally handle themselves, the girls thank their level 7 leader for stepping up to run this all-female squad. The students quickly start looting the enemy bodies for anything valuable, while one girl asks her friend if she's burnt out from the fight. Suddenly, one of the girls drops a confused look, catching on to the fact that the vibe around them just shifted in a super sketchy way. Glancing around with heavy concern, she asks her friends where their final party member disappeared to inside all that smoke. The girl gets a massive scare and lets out a scream, fully realizing some freaky stuff is unfolding right in front of her eyes. Completely lost, she looks left and right, wondering where the rest of the crew could have possibly vanished so fast. This leaves the young girl tripping out since the squad was just dividing up loot a second ago, and those monsters should be laid out on the dirt. However, she realizes there is literally nothing left in the brush, and the total silence starts creeping the poor girl out. Her eyes suddenly snap wide open after spotting a bizarre trail, and she screams in terror knowing things just spiraled way out of control. Panning out to the gloomy forest, the chilling mystery of where the monsters and her friends went completely takes over this cursed map. According to the system's info drops, we learned the goblins in this world love hiding in damp, dark spots to set up those dirty ambushes. The panel also explains these nasty creatures boast a crazy high birth rate, using literally any means necessary to multiply their numbers fast. Scanning through the data, our MC finds out these mobs mature in record time, trapping themselves in an endless cycle of breeding and growing. Graphic images break down exactly how cruel these beasts get while operating under the forest's pitch-black cover. Sprinting non-stop, our guy feels totally disgusted by the sick settings of this reality, wondering just what kind of messed up world he's in. Right away, the high-tech interface flashes to confirm he finally hit the exact coordinates locked into the secret map. Glancing around the thick brush, our boy gets pretty confused, genuinely wondering if this is actually the right spot for the quest. With nothing but a dark, silent pit in sight, the hero realizes this dungeon entrance isn't nearly as obvious as he originally thought. Scratching his head, the guy notices nothing but endless trees around, starting to suspect the system completely bugged out on the location. Dead serious, our MC looks up at the sky to analyze things calmly so he doesn't waste time searching the wrong area. Out of nowhere, a weird trail of smoke starts creeping up from the ground, proving something is buried right under his boots. Firing up his cracked perception, the hero catches a small rodent moving right before it gets snatched by some sinister red energy. With a wicked smirk, our boy figures out the zone's secret while his eye flashes with the power of his newly activated vision. Connecting the dots on the Red Rock Cave title, he realizes the legendary loot isn't sitting up top but is actually buried deep underground. Finally, our boy stares down into the flaming abyss, noticing the true entrance drops straight down into a massive underground lair. Watching the smoke billow up, the MC gives the beast some credit for being smart enough to use fire to camouflage the cave opening. His gaze sharpening, our guy gears up to jump right into that pit and face whatever is waiting for him at the bottom. Inside, we get a clear shot of the fiery lair packed with shadows, where these foul creatures are just waiting for their next victim. Hiding away in the dark, the guy realizes he can't just jump one monster without pulling the aggro of the entire mob at once, because the system clearly states that horde mode is fully active, meaning one little noise is going to spark a massive free-for-all in the pitch black. Keeping his eyes on the prize, our boy reminds himself his only real goal here is to get his hands on that high-value map treasure. All of a sudden, he spots a female student in serious trouble, completely surrounded by those freaky creatures inside the thick smoke. Catching onto the trap, the hero realizes the girl fell right into the monster's setup, feeling totally disgusted by how nasty these mobs truly are. But our MC keeps his cool and decides to scope out the situation before doing anything reckless. Echoing through the cave, the girl's screams beg for someone to get her out of this terrifying mess. With a cold stare, our boy figures her presence makes a perfect distraction while he hunts the final prize. He honestly believes he owes nobody a rescue, preferring to focus strictly on his own grind for loot and power. Still, the guy critiques the rookie's lack of prep for jumping into a deadly zone without enough strength. Changing his tune, our boy's eyes go wide, hearing that the girl's family is loaded and can pay up. Finally, the goblins launch their finishing move, and the girl lets out a desperate scream as the beasts pounce. A massive pillar of fire erupts right in the lair, sending everything flying from the MC's cracked attack. Leaping with agility, our guy dodges the debris while watching the monsters get swallowed by the blinding flash. With a confident smirk, our boy triggers his swordmaster technique to shut down the threat for good. Unleashing a heavy strike, the hero creates a shockwave that cracks the cave floor and stuns the enemies. On top of that, the system reveals the skill's brightness is a fatal weakness for goblins who hate strong light, because one precise move is all it takes for our MC to push the beasts back without even dirtying his hands. Standing in the smoke, the guy notices Zhang Yunqing is entirely wiped out and can barely stand. A quick glance back lets our boy know the monsters gave up, confirming his escape plan worked flawlessly. Thanking him for the save, the young girl looks at the hero with pure admiration and introduces herself as Zhang Yunqing. However, our MC recognizes her face from a photo and realizes fate just brought them together. Walking away, our boy warns her he was just passing through and doesn't want any small talk, even with the girl begging. The guy claims she'll only drag him down and tells her to fend for herself. Checking his interface, the hero locks back onto the treasure hunt, completely ignoring his new acquaintance's cries. The second the map sensor flashes, our MC realizes the golden prize is extremely close. Finally, the sound of footsteps on the gravel hints that something new is about to pop up right in front of him. Looking back, our boy confirms the monsters stopped tailing them and lets out a cheer, knowing he found the hideout. Plus, we spot a silver chest right ahead, but our MC uses his sublimation talent to evolve the loot into something way better. As magical energy fills the room, Zhang Yunqing just watches everything with a totally shocked expression at that bizarre power. Her eyes wide, the girl is completely hypnotized by the blinding light, proving the hero's transformation was a massive success. Holding the item, our boy celebrates since the chest hit gold rank, packing the best possible rewards for this level. A draw interface also pops up in front of him, leaving the guy super hyped to see what the final prize is going to be. At last, the system announces he scored the full Shadow Flow suit and a rare skill scroll to massively buff his stats. Staring at the drops, our MC looks pretty bummed, realizing the platinum scroll doesn't match his class at all and complains about the wasted effort. Furthermore, the guy notices Zhang Yunqing wearing a super guilty face and wonders if his bad luck is tied to her being there. That's because the girl finally gathers some courage, revealing her awakened class is actually a highly rare 7-star soul healer. Hearing this, our boy goes into total shock while the system pings, announcing she's officially part of his squad as a new partner. Meanwhile, across the map, things are getting ugly as several players get wiped out by a sinister presence that just won't stop attacking. Walking coldly over the defeated, someone proves this competition is life or death, with the body count constantly rising. With a freezing sigh, this new enemy shows off a bizarre frost power that chills the air and makes the dungeon vibe super heavy. Claiming the weak only deserve to fall, this villain is already hunting his next target to clear his twisted mission quota. But then the purple-haired girl steps up, glaring at the trail of destruction and skeletons on the ground with pure rage. Hitting 12:30, massive ice spikes burst from the ground, proving a high-level clash is wrecking everything around. Quick on her feet, the girl dashes across the frozen landscape, trying to secure better positioning against any surprise strikes. Standing on a cliff, she monitors every sketchy movement down below while trying to catch her breath from the sprint. Dead serious, she locks her eyes on the target, showing she won't back down even knowing this opponent is a pure combat monster. Down below, a shadowy figure shifts through the bushes, revealing the ambush is primed and ready to drop at any second. Taking the leap into battle, the impact of her landing proves this insane fight against the ice user is about to go down. A sinister glare full of malice tracks every move the prey makes while tension completely takes over the frozen area. Suddenly, the attacker leaps off a rock with his heavy weapon, leaving the purple-haired girl completely shocked by his raw speed. The strike's impact cracks the ground and kicks up dust, as the villain claims he's just playing hunter with a helpless animal. Gritting her teeth, the girl tries to stay focused despite realizing she's facing a vastly more experienced and dangerous foe. With extreme confidence, the guy lands and comments he never expected a girl from that academy to hold out this long. He then starts clowning the students' power levels, claiming most of them are nothing but a bunch of futureless losers. Flashing his giant blade with a mocking smirk, the villain wonders why she keeps fighting a battle that's already lost. Right after the psycho reveals his level 10 quest demands he eliminate 50 players just to score his first promotion. Hearing that twisted confession, the girl realizes the enemy traveled from another city strictly to massacre the rookie zone. That maniac smile grows as the guy swears to wipe everyone out, claiming the weak are just stepping stones for his grind. Driven by an absurd bloodlust, the villain charges at her once again, showing zero mercy or hesitation. The girl quickly tries to dodge the fatal strike, stepping over remains that prove she isn't the only victim today. However, the attacker shatters her summoned skeletons in one swing, bragging that those low-level toys won't last a second against him. Locking the gaze of pure hatred, the guy warns the fun is officially over and he isn't giving her another chance to run. Finally, he unloads a bloody slash technique, lighting up the entire scene with a massive, destructive red energy. Sweating bullets, Ji Yao closes her eyes expecting the final hit, only to realize the blood strike got blocked at the last second, because a burst of energy erupts mid-air, blasting the villain away while a mysterious hero steps up to the front. Taking advantage of the pause, other students yell to the girl, letting her know they arrived to provide backup in this intense clash. A closer look lets the girl recognize the blue-haired guy, remembering he's actually an old classmate. Furthermore, the archer already draws his bowstring, ready to fire magic arrows at the maniac, wiping out the zone. Over in another part of the cave, the system pings to signal it's time to turn in the treasure fragment and clear the quest. Watching the screen with satisfaction, our MC comments he finally knocked out every requirement for this annoying objective. Right after that, the promotion stats pop up, revealing Su Ming is officially a sword god with doubled strength and speed buffs. Walking next to Zhang Yongqing, our boy claims he's now fully confident he can absolutely body the secret boss hiding in there. However, the hero senses a shift in the air and decides this is the perfect time to pop that scroll from the chest. The interface quickly confirms the soul healer item is used, and a bluish light starts wrapping around his new partner. Eyes going wide, Zhang Yongqing feels an absurd power coursing through her veins as she grips her staff tightly. Plus, the system details she just unlocked a platinum tier skill that grants a 200% experience bonus for the whole party. Losing his cool completely, our boy yells in shock reading that OP multiplier value, knowing it's gonna skyrocket their levels. Finally, the girl looks at our guy with a totally flushed face, barely believing she managed to unlock such a divine technique. Thinking about her cracked luck, our MC pulls a sly face, knowing that experience bonus is way too good to pass up. Soon enough, the hero points the way and says he changed his mind, agreeing to guide her through the map, leaving Zhang Yunqing jumping for joy. She also explains her sister's guards couldn't handle the lair, while our boy decides to put up with the rich kid just for that OP skill. Out of nowhere, our MC's eyes go wide as he gets an audio alert straight from his notification system. A yellow letter also pops up on screen, revealing some urgent intel about the girl named Ji Yao. Meanwhile, the red-haired villain raises his massive weapon, gearing up to unload a seriously heavy strike. Crashing into the ground, the attack carves out a massive trench as the aggressor tries to crush anyone in his way. With a look of pure disgust, this maniac flexes a dark aura, proving he won't stop until he completely wipes the battlefield. Trying to fight back, the blue-haired hero fires his magic sealing arrow, leaving a bright green trail in the air. But the impact just kicks up a dust cloud since the opponent is way tankier than the squad ever imagined. Eyes wide open, the student realizes his secret technique got shattered in one move, and panic fully sets in. Running toward the danger, the guy screams for his brother as the dungeon situation gets more desperate by the second. His reaction speed is cracked, allowing the villain to trigger his flying blood slash and launch multiple red energy blades. Standing in the wreckage, the attacker surveys the defeated trail, showing nobody here is leveled enough to face him. Pure terror shakes Ji Yao and her friend as they realize the squad is wiped and they're fully boxed in by this monster. Glaring at the opponent, the blue-haired hero mentions he's never seen anyone this OP come out of that student academy. The villain's tight grip on his sword hilt shows off an insane mastery that only someone with legendary talent possesses. Finally, the system drops the reveal that this guy is Li Chengwang, a 10-star genius holding the secret Blade Madman class. Scanning the survivors, Li Chengwang notes they're the last two standing and complains his kill count is only at 35 out of 50. Covered in cold sweat, the blue-haired archer Yin Zhe asks if Ji Yao can hold out for backup while things get incredibly grim. Sadly, the girl stares into the void, realizing there's no one around to help, while Su Ming's name glows on her system interface. Locking a cruel gaze, the villain notices his prey is totally isolated with zero hope of escaping this dark fate. With a burst of insane speed, the Blade Madman rushes the archer, claiming he'll take out the nuisance first. Screaming in panic, Ji Yao orders Yan Zi to run immediately, swearing she'll try to hold off the monster no matter the cost. However, the attacker clowns her effort, stating she doesn't have nearly enough strength to save anyone like this. Staring down his prey with hatred, the villain shows his bloodlust is only spiking with every passing second. That's because he declares the weak have no right to protect anyone, gearing up the final strike to end this little game. Suddenly, a massive energy blast engulfs the area as Ji Yao's name echoes through the chaos. And no one saw that coming. The girl goes into shock, realizing RMC finally showed up to flip this losing battle. Standing on top of a rock, Su Ming flexes a crushing presence that leaves everyone completely speechless. His expression stays dead serious, showing he isn't letting this out-of-town genius walk away from such a cowardly move. On top of that, the system pulls up the warning message the girl sent, begging the hero to stay away from the dangerous 9 o'clock zone. Recalling how Ji Yao fearlessly sacrificed herself in his past life, our boy decides it's finally his turn to pay her back with interest. Our guy notices Ji Yao is in grave danger once again in this life, leaving him deep in thought about her fate. Plus, looking at that warning text, our MC sees that even in serious trouble, she tried to protect everyone else first. Weeping right into the fight, our boy completely ignores the danger warnings, making Ji Yao scream in surprise seeing him there. Her eyes go wide, completely unable to believe the guy actually dropped into this total mess to face the villain. Sticking a stylish landing, the hero tells her to stop worrying about everyone else, swearing he's gonna keep her safe in this life. With a look of pure determination, our MC proves he's ready to body anyone who crosses his path. Meanwhile, Li Chengwang gets absolutely furious, hoisting his giant weapon coated in a highly sinister red energy. But the villain goes into complete shock, realizing Su Ming is wielding the legendary flying sword control technique, leaving him totally lost. The blades quickly slice through the air with absurd speed, landing a direct hit on the 10-star genius's defense. Moving like a blur, our boy dashes across the battlefield, leaving the opponent completely disoriented in the clash. He unloads a heavy strike, making everyone see he's a seriously overpowered 10-star swordmaster. What's more, the hero glares right at the red-haired villain and charges full throttle to teach this aggressor an unforgettable lesson. The impact of their clash shakes the ground as Su Ming vows he won't forgive anyone who lays a finger on Ji Yao. Over on the side, the archer Yan Zhe is left with his jaw dropped at that raw power, deciding to provide range support to secure the win. Finally, the system triggers a weird effect around the blue-haired dude, and he gets super surprised by what's happening. While the beasts attack, Yan Zhe and Ji Yao notice their health bars going up, asking who the kind soul helping them is. Stepping up, Zhang Yunqing introduces herself with her glowing staff, claiming she's our MC's new partner and a top-tier soul healer. We also see the squad looking relieved since having someone to heal their HP mid-chaos is the best luck they could ask for. However, Ji Yao gets confused, remembering our boy said he preferred to play solo, but the healer admits she's still getting the hang of it, because the archer demands she hurry with the support since Su Ming is soloing that dangerous villain and one mistake could be fatal. The young girl tells him to chill, guaranteeing our boy is way more OP than anyone here can imagine. Meanwhile, the hero keeps up his fast attack combo, leaving Li Chengwang completely lost against his insane movement. Stuttering with rage, the villain asks himself how a simple swordmaster can pack such broken power. Cold sweat drips down as the attacker realizes our boy's technique is superior, meaning the fight is completely slipping from his control. Staring down the opponent with pure coldness, our MC proves he isn't even slightly intimidated by the rival genius's fame. On top of that, the two zip across the battlefield while the impact of their strike shakes everything, proving this is a top-tier clash. Admitting the hero is way stronger than his intel suggested, Li Chengwang realizes he severely underestimated the kid's talent. Still, the villain claims it's time to decide who's really in charge, challenging our boy to a final duel between 10-star classes. Hearing the opponent's name, our MC gets thoughtful, trying to jog his memory on where he knows this Li Chengwang from. He quickly remembers this guy was an absolute legend in his past life, though fate never gave them a chance to cross paths back then. Flashing a slight smirk, our boy realizes this is the perfect opportunity to change the course of history this time around. With contained fury, the hero pushes forward and unloads a light strike, testing if the rival's defense can tank his blade. We also see the weapons clashing to create a massive explosion of sparks as the two fighters measure their strength mid-dungeon. Suddenly, the villain triggers his Blood Blades technique, launching multiple red projectiles straight at our boy's chest. Reacting with ninja-like reflexes, Su Ming wonders if the guy honestly thinks he'll win using such a predictable strat. But our MC holds his ground, blocking the rain of attacks, quickly noticing the fight's vibe just shifted in a very sketchy way. Meanwhile, Li Chengwang lets out an evil laugh, yelling that the hero walked right into his trap without even sensing the real danger. That's because the system triggers a body paralysis effect, trapping our boy in a red energy circle that completely locks his movement. Finally, the attacker abuses the opening and goes for the killing blow, warning that it's game over for the sword master. Gathering a bizarre red energy in his palm, our MC shows he still has one seriously OP trick hidden up his sleeve. Right after he unleashes his sword mastery, creating a destructive pillar of light that makes the cave floor violently shake. Riding that burst of power, our boy manages to shatter the paralysis seal, backing away from danger with absurd agility. His sarcastic smirk returns as our guy warns that playtime is officially over, ordering his blades right back to his command. The blades quickly slice the air at high speed, completely boxing the opponent in without leaving a single escape route. On the flip side, Li Chengwang believes the hero is completely defenseless without a sword in hand, highly confident in prepping his final attack. And that's where it gets crazy. The villain gets blindsided by an invisible strike that leaves a heavy damage trail on his chest, forcing him to back up. Eyes wide, the 10-star genius goes absolutely berserk with rage, unable to process how he got hit in such a humiliating way. Gripping his weapon hilt tight, our MC preps to end this dispute while keeping total focus on his opponent's moves. As things fall apart, the attacker finally notices our boy is operating on a totally superior combat level. Suddenly, the system shows the hidden god step activating, revealing a crazy broken gold ranks movement technique. Furious, the villain unloads the 5 Shadow Blade strike, trying to shred the hero with a frantic, dangerous combo of slashes. Dodging every move with extreme ease, our boy leaves nothing but after images behind while the speed buff glows on screen. Cold sweat drops as Li Chengwang realizes the guy's speed just spiked drastically, sending him into total despair mid-fight. Finally, Su Ming pops up right in front of the villain and gives a highly ironic apology before charging up his ultimate finishing blow. Our MC flashes a victorious smile, celebrating because he got full control of his weapon back to end this brawl once and for all. Plus, we see Yanzi and Ji Yao shouting that the healing is done, rushing in to give that much-needed backup in the fight. However, the blue-haired hero's eyes go wide, realizing something bizarre is going down right inside that dust cloud, because the smoke starts clearing, revealing the fighters' silhouettes while everyone holds their breath to see the impact's outcome. Walking with a lot of struggle, the red-haired villain proves he took heavy damage but still tries to stay standing despite being completely wrecked. Completely chill, our boy just stands there wondering if the clash is finally over or if the enemy still has gas for another round. Meanwhile, his friends' eyes are practically sparkling with admiration since they've never seen such absurd power from a regular student. We also see the crew hyping up our boy for absolutely bodying a 10-star opponent in such a short amount of time. Even so, Lee Chum-wong starts giving off a sinister red energy, proving he hasn't accepted this humiliating defeat yet. All of a sudden, Jiang Yunqing lets out a desperate warning scream, telling the hero to watch out for a cheap shot coming from behind. Locking his gaze dead serious, our MC tracks the dangerous movement but stays completely calm so he can react at the perfect moment. Because the villain attempts a desperate blood strike but ends up leaving a massive opening that our boy spots instantly. Watching this go down, the archer Yan Zhe is left in absolute shock at the bizarre twist unfolding right before his eyes. Furthermore, the healer pulls a terrified face, scared that her partner's gonna get hit by that deadly blade technique. Finally, Ji Yao screams Su Ming's name as the tension maxes out right in the middle of that cursed forest. Staring intensely at the enemy, our MC notices the red energy trap is getting tighter and tighter around him. Suddenly, the villain unleashes his tropical forest quickknife technique, spawning a storm of slashes that tears the air with raw force. Plus, the blades circle the hero like a deadly hurricane while a scarlet glow completely takes over the cave. Laughing like an absolute psycho, Lee Chen-wong claims Su Ming fell into the perfect trap and welcomes him to his killing field. Desperate over the situation, Ji Yao tries to run in and help our guy, but gets held back by the archer Yan Zhe, who tells her to keep her cool. That's because the blue-haired hero immediately warns that stepping into that blade circle now would be a fatal mistake, with no return. However, the girl screams to be let go, stating she'd rather risk her own life than let our MC fight completely alone in there. Her eyes go wide in total shock when she hears a firm voice telling her to listen to her friend and stay away from the danger. Ultimately, our boy watches the chaos from afar, ordering Ji Yao to keep her distance since he plans to handle this his own special way. The opponent wonders how this is even possible since he landed so many hits and our boy still hasn't dropped. Just then, a voice asks if he's actually sure he hit him, and the rival realizes the speech isn't coming from the body he's attacking. A shadowy body appears, leaving the antagonist questioning if that was just some replacement clone. Right behind him, our MC spawns with sword in hand and comments that he finally noticed. He adds that the rival never expected a basic sword master to pack a skill like this, triggering his shadow sword set. This gear skill is called Darkness Surge, adding armor-piercing shadow damage and spawning a shadow clone that deals a bonus slash with 50% normal damage. Catching on, the enemy realizes it's a skill, and since there are no sets in the rookie dungeon, he figures our boy already cleared his promotion quest. Our guy confirms it, saying he guessed perfectly. The opponent is left in shock as our MC reveals he actually knocked out that first promotion quest a long time ago. Boiling with rage, the rival realizes our boy beat him to the punch and finished the task first. Without a shred of mercy, our protagonist attacks, warning that the opponent is entirely at his mercy now. But right in the middle of the strike, something drops straight from the sky. Surprised, our boy has zero clue what's going down right now. Exploding in a blinding light, the object completely covers the opponent. From a distance, a spectator yells that it's a life-saving accessory, leaving the girl next to him totally confused. He explains it's an emergency escape item worth tens of thousands of coins and can't drop in the dungeon, while his rival just vanishes in a beam of light. Our MC just watches and comments that the neighboring city paid a really high price to protect their 10-star genius. The scene shifts, and the clock hits 2 in the afternoon. Inside a control room, an operator looks worried. Then a supervisor eating noodles asks what's up. She says the data shows multiple deaths at the 9 o'clock direction, but the guy doesn't care, thinking it was just a few squads that ran into tough monsters. Shaking her head, the operator explains the data analysis shows they got wiped out by a player from another region. Getting serious, the supervisor figures the neighboring city is up to something again, so he orders her to save all the logs. The academy director mentions that beginner dungeons are a competition between cities, and since his academy ranks the lowest, they became an easy target. Asking about the students' progress next, the report says everything is going well, with most of the teleport zones already secured. Limited footage also shows some of the cracked players already formed parties and are trying to clear the boss stage. Leading the squad is none other than Jang Tang, the Jang family's son, an 8-star magic hammer warrior, and the director hypes up his potential, recalling he was already level 6 hours ago. Calculating things out, since the final boss is level 12 and Zhang is leading a big group, he should be close to level 10 by now, hoping he beats the boss and brings honor to the academy. Right then, the real-time ranking analysis drops, confirming Zhang Tang is level 9, almost 10, and tied for first place with another student, Yan Zhe. Trailing behind in second and third are 2 girls, the necromancer Ji Yao at level 7 and healer Zhang Yunqing at level 8, surprising the director with how promising they are. He then asks about the student Su Ming, but the assistant reports he's nowhere on the top rankings, so the old man orders him to check his level right away. Shocked by what he sees, the guy freezes, and the impatient director asks what he found out and what level Su Ming is. Stuttering, the assistant reveals he's only level 2, leaving the director completely speechless. The data shows that after Su Ming got the first blood and hit level 2, his level hasn't gone up at all since then. Cutting to 2:30 in the afternoon, our boy is standing over a monster's body. A system notification pops up confirming he successfully took down an elite thorn-tooth beast. Breathing a sigh of relief, we see our MC is actually already level 14. Right after, another notification congratulates him for leveling up and unlocking a hidden gear set appearance at level 14. Back with the squad, one of the girls points out they leveled up multiple times in just over 2 hours, and the archer adds he's already level 10 and ready to challenge the dungeon boss. The other girl mentions they need to thank Zhang Yunqing for the EXP boost skill, but the real credit goes to Su Ming for giving her the ability. Summarizing the squad's strength, the necromancer lists Yunqing's healing, Yanzi's damage, her summons for cover, and most importantly, having an awesome leader like Su Ming, telling them not to be so polite. Our boy says it's all their own power and he's just tagging along for the ride. Thinking he's being sarcastic, the pink-haired girl knows if he hadn't saved her and the archer, they definitely would have died to Li Qingwang's blade. Quick flashbacks show the fight and Li Qingwang getting absolutely bodied. Smiling, Ji Yao says Su Ming was awesome, and with their teamwork, they can easily take down the dungeon boss. Agreeing with her, our MC surprises her by revealing his target isn't the regular boss. Holding the key with a confident smirk, he announces he's going after the hidden boss, which is way more powerful, and that's where it gets crazy. The system states the item dropped by the elite thorn-tooth beast was the water ripple key. An explanation reveals that finding the dungeon's hidden boss requires solving 3 riddles and collecting 3 matching items. The first riddle talks about the silver moon, blue waves, and red armor sleeping in a cold abyss. Deducing the location is the silver moon in the sky. Our boy figures since there's no weather in the dungeon, the only possible spot is where the plants grow in the shape of a moon. Continuing his explanation, he points out the lake's surface right behind this moon-shaped tree is exactly where the hidden boss is located. The second riddle mentions fog on the lake, iris petals as a guide, and armor guarding an ancient pact under the sand. Revealing his prep work, he says, ever since entering the dungeon, he grabbed the iris flower, the trigger item from the monkey monster area, and combined it with the key he got. The third riddle talks about holding the star-patterned key, reflecting the bottom of the lake, and a knight waiting for the light. Putting it all together, our boy merges the flower and the key into a single item. Announcing it worked, the girl wonders how he managed to solve all those puzzles. Swirling violently, the lake forms a massive whirlpool. From the bottom of the lake, a mysterious voice echoes out using the oath as a guide and starlight as a summon. Then, a huge structure starts rising out of the water. Riding a horse, a red-armored knight emerges from the cold abyss. The voice keeps speaking, telling them to break the boundary with the blue waves. Flashing a red alert, the system warns everyone the hidden boss is spawned. The monster is the Lake Guardian, the Lost Knight. A system prompt lets us know Yan Zhe joined the party. Right after, another notification confirms Ji Yao is in the party too. Now the squad is fully assembled. Making it official, the system declares Su Ming as the captain. RMC then orders everyone to get ready for battle. The hidden boss raid officially begins. 15 minutes later, a system message warns that the red-armored knight is looking for a target. Laying low in the grass, the whole squad is dead silent. Whispering quietly, the archer asks if hiding like this is really a good idea. With a nervous smile, the necromancer suggests they try again. Looking over at their captain, everyone waits for orders. Pointing it out, our boy says the knight is way too fast, wondering how they're even gonna kill that thing. Just then, the system flashes mount speed 500 points. The hidden boss's full stats pop up, showing level 19, 301 strength, and 250 constitution, among other cracked attributes. Checking the data from their hiding spot, the archer is shocked, saying even adding up all 4 of their speeds, it doesn't even reach half of the knight's stats. Even our MC is stunned by those numbers. Panicking hard, other players have no clue how a level 19 hidden boss just spawned out of nowhere in that area. Charging forward, the knight takes out a player with one swift strike. Watching the chaos, our boy notes the third wave of nearby players just got wiped out by the boss, and since they spawned it, they need to hurry. Rushing over to him, Ji Yao says the trap is set up just like he asked. Looking exhausted, she holds up an empty flask saying they burned through all the squad's mana potions to prep the slow trap. Thanking her for the hard work, Su Ming orders Yan Zhe and Yun Qing to stick to the plan while the trio scrambles to their spots. Thinking to himself, he remembers he never challenged the hidden boss in his past life, and very few awakened would risk summoning it right after awakening, since you can only run the dungeon once. He recalls the puzzle solution was only found in vague records when some students accidentally stumbled on it, and he just memorized the whole thing. What he didn't expect was the hidden boss rocking a mount with 500 speed. So, he figures out that to kill the knight, they gotta knock him off his horse first. Getting ready, Yanzei draws his bow and fires. He shoots multiple hunting arrows right at the target. Ripping through the forest, the arrows surround the knight. Blocking the shots effortlessly, the knight takes the hits on his armor. The boss's level 5 heavy armor mastery doesn't even get a scratch. Complaining from a distance, the archer groans that his archery skills aren't dealing much damage because of that armor. The system warns that the guardian locked onto the target with the highest aggro again. Yelling at Yun Qing, Yanzei warns her he pulled the boss's aggro and she fearfully confirms she's on it. Using fire, Yun Qing creates a thick smoke screen. Breaking down the plan, our boy explains. Step 1 is Yanzei baiting the boss with his long-range attacks. Step 2 is Yun Qing dropping smoke in the area to mess with the boss's vision, and he praises her smart move of using fire to hide the cave entrance. He reveals they picked up this trick back in the Goblin Cave just as the knight rides straight into the smoke. Pushing slowly through the mist, the boss's vision is totally blocked. The second he goes deeper, Ji Yao triggers the trap. Summoning a whole horde of skeletons out of the ground, they grab the boss's horse. The slow trap is unleashed, and the skeletons swarm the enemy. Feeling amazed, Ji Yao thinks that if Su Ming hadn't told her, she'd never know her basic summon skill could combo with trap magic to spawn this many mobs. Trying to break free, the knight slashes through the skeletons with his blade. But he quickly realizes another skill is affecting him. Casting her spells, Yun Qing hits him with slow magic and soul siphon. Step 3 of the plan, as narrated by Su Ming, is holding down the boss's horse with the skeleton trap, and at the same time hitting the boss with Yuan Qing's slow magic to lock down his movements. Smiling, our MC admits he really has to hand it to their teamwork, because without those three working together, he appears vaulting right over the knight. Going all in, our boy jumps and grabs the rider. With a fierce look, he grips the boss's armor to throw him off balance, and giving it a massive pull, he yells at the knight to get off the horse. Sent flying through the forest, the lake guardian is tossed super far, crashing hard into the dirt. One of the teammates screams that they actually did it. Cheering that the boss is down, Yun Qing celebrates, but our MC warns her not to drop her guard yet. He explains that was just phase 1. A flashback kicks in, showing a chat from 10 minutes ago where Ji Yao complains the plan is great, but she and Yun Qing will be out of mana and unable to deal damage after dismounting him. Su Ming just says that's enough. Flashing a confident smile, he tells them when a time comes, leave the rest to him. Snapping back to the present, our MC charges with his glowing sword, declaring he's gonna solo the boss himself, and this is where it gets good. Getting into a stance, he preps his attack. Rushing the knight, he kicks off some fast-paced, close-quarters combat. The first clash of their blades sends out a huge shockwave. Dodging out of the way, our boy avoids a swift strike from the guardian. Swiping back, the knight tries for an instant counter. Su Ming blocks the hit clean. The dust settles, and in the background, Ji Yao watches the brawl. Shocked by the intense fight, she's amazed Su Ming is actually holding his own solo, deciding she can't just stand there and watch. Agreeing with her, Yanzei gets ready to help, saying he can still use his skills, but our boy cuts him off, telling him to wait. Stopping him, Ji Yao reminds the archer that Su Ming said to leave everything to him. Smiling, she says they need to trust their captain, since they have their own mission. Meanwhile, our MC activates Divine Shadow Step, coating his body in a red aura. Moving at insane speeds, he trades a flurry of blows with the knight. Bobbing and weaving, he easily dodges the guardian's blades. His eyes flash as a speed boost buff triggers. Pushing in again, he evades another attack like it's nothing. Taunting him, our boy jokes that the boss is way too slow and he didn't expect the Guardian's speed to drop off a cliff after getting off his horse. The hidden boss's stats screen pops up, showing the Lost Knight only has 55 speed points now. Keeping up the trash talk, he's honestly impressed by how sluggish the enemy is. Landing another strike, our MC declares that a hidden boss really isn't all that cracked after all, and taking him down is gonna be a breeze. Raising his sword, he yells for the monster to go down. The slash connects right on the Guardian's chest, but the attack just throws sparks, getting totally blocked by the enemy's heavy armor. Striking back, the knight drops a massive vertical slash that shatters the ground. A system alert warns that his weapon's remaining durability is down to just 7%. Thinking fast, he figures the enemy's heavy armor stat is seriously a massive headache. Blocking a heavy hit, our MC complains out loud that his opponent's heavy armor attribute is a real pain to deal with. Glaring down at our boy, the Lost Knight's red eyes shine through his helm. Suddenly, the boss steps back and starts roaming around the area. Looking left and right, the monster seems to be searching for something. Mocking him, our MC asks if he's trying to find his ride. Praising the knight for being smart, he acknowledges that mounted speed is his biggest advantage. But with a grin, our boy says it's too bad because the rest of his squad already jacked the horse. Whinnying loudly, the horse struggles to run away. Far off, the rest of the team wrestles the horse, yelling at it to stop thrashing and telling Yun King to drop slow magic on it. Hyping each other up, the archer and necromancer remember that holding down the mount is a huge deal entrusted to them by Su Ming. In a flashback, our MC explains that if the dismount plan worked, he'd handle the monster, but the squad had one crucial job. Their mission was crystal clear: hold the boss's horse down and absolutely never let him remount. Dropping from the tree, the MC launches a brutal energy slash. Our hero lands right on the dirt. The blue energy goes whizzing right past him. Fighting back, our boy counters with his howling stone blade. Rocks start flying all around our guy. Rushing each other, their swords clash one more time. Our MC then busts out sword control, launching his weapon like a straight-up projectile. Guiding the blade with his hand, he tags the knight multiple times. The weapon's durability drops to just 3%. Jumping up, he narrowly ducks an enemy swing. Our boy realizes he can't waste his weapon's durability anymore. Spotting a weakness, he notices the opponent's heavy armor is right on the verge of breaking. Glowing with a red symbol, his eyes lock onto the target. Moving at cracked speeds, he unleashes a flurry of slashes. The knight can barely keep track of him. Popping up behind him, our MC is primed for the finishing blow. Trying to block, the monster scrambles to defend. Su Ming lands a clean, direct hit on the knight's shoulder. Flaring up, the boss's red eye glows super bright. But in a desperate move, the Guardian grabs our boy right by the throat. Breaking free, our boy smiles and jokes that this move really works so well against both players and monsters. While a notification warns his gear set effect just popped. Covered in a dark aura with a satisfied look, he says he absolutely loves this set. Just then, the knight winds up to hit back. But our MC uses sword control one last time, blasting the weapon square into the Guardian's chest. The strike finally does the trick, completely shattering the boss's heavy armor into pieces. Only issue is, a system alert pops up saying his weapon's durability is completely gone too. Unfazed, he doesn't stop and summons his Shadow Blade, declaring the fight is over. Cutting away, the scene shows a clock hitting exactly 3 in the afternoon. Right after, the camera pans to the front of the Xuanjing Academy. Inside the building, a sign points out the school's comm room is currently occupied. Walking in, an older guy, Director Wang, it's greeted by someone else who points out he finally showed up. The other directors in the holo room complain he's the last one here, mocking him and asking if it's because none of his students have challenged the dungeon boss yet. Keeping up the trash talk, one of them says Xianjing Academy always ranks dead last anyway, so it doesn't matter. But Director Wang snaps back that the dungeon isn't why he's late. Looking dead serious, he reveals he got real-time data showing outside players invaded his academy's beginner dungeon, and they haven't caught the culprit yet. Right away, one of the guys calls out Director Xie, arguing the victims died to blade skills and his genius student Li Qingwang is a master with swords. Flexing their academy's progress, the other directors brag they'll clear the dungeon soon, saying they already have squads of the boss and one is already in phase 2. Listening to all this with a worried look, Director Wang knows every second counts. Sweating dodging bullets. He stresses that if his academy doesn't get the first clear this year, they'll only get 2 entry tokens for the Tower Society, the lowest number in history. Thinking it over, he realizes the closest player to beating the boss right now is a student named Zhang Teng. Wrapping his head around it, Director Wang concludes everything is riding on his best student's strength. Flashing back 15 minutes in time, the scene shows the clock hitting 3:15 in the afternoon. Inside the dungeon, Zhang Teng yells for everyone to push forward and burn all their cooldowns to kill the final boss. Charging at the student squad, the boss is this massive muscular beast. Glowing bright red, the monster's eye shows it's absolutely furious. The Forest King, a level 15 Jinba, absolutely bodies several players all at once. Landing a heavy hit, the creature sends a bunch of students flying through the air. Injured, Zhang Teng realizes they aren't a match and their level just isn't high enough to win. Freaking out, one of his allies regrets that they made it this far for nothing. With pure determination, Zhang Teng declares the beginner dungeon clear reward has to be his. He yells he needs to grab that final loot and avenge Xiao Homan. A quick flashback shows a text exchange where Xiao Man begs for help getting back at Su Ming for hurting her. Begging him, she asks for a hand in getting her revenge. Back in the fight against the forest boss, Zhang Teng is right about to get hit. Suddenly, a beam of light cuts through the air and the boss vanishes. Confused, the kid has no clue what's going on. The scenery around him starts breaking down into blue blocks. Caught off guard, he wonders what that is. A dungeon notification pops up, congratulating the squad for beating the hidden boss and telling all players to prep for a triumphant return. Cutting back to Su Ming's fight, he finishes off the lost knight, calling it done. Right in front of our MC's teammates, the hidden boss crumbles into particles. Ji Yao and the rest just stare in shock, and she says Su Ming did it. Smiling victoriously, she realizes he actually managed to solo the hidden boss. Over in the comm room, Director Wang sees a result pop up and wonders if Li Chen-Wang pulled it off. The other directors start arguing, each one claiming the win for their own academy. Left speechless, Director Wang wears a shocked expression. He freezes up completely when he sees the result. Displaying on a giant screen, it shows Xuanjing Academy as the winner, and that's where it gets crazy. Everyone in the comm room is stunned, wondering how a beginner dungeon even has a hidden boss and who from Xuanjing pulled this off. Questioning if the main force wasn't with Zhang Teng's group, they admit this year's Awakener built different. Amazed, Ji Yao shouts that our boy is cracked, while he just looks over the battle's aftermath. With a smirk, our MC sees he hit level 16, and his allies celebrate skipping 2 levels at once. A system notification confirms his level up to 16. Then, Yanzi calls everyone to huddle up quick before the exit portal opens, so they can split the hidden boss loot. He actually turns down the reward, saying he's happy enough with leveling up, and Jiang Yunqing agrees, thanking our MC for saving her life. Continuing his point, the guy explains Su Ming did everything from saving them to soloing the boss, so he'd feel guilty taking the loot. Right then, a glowing bow spawns in front of him, taking him by surprise. A screen shows the captain assigned him a level 20 ranger bow with a random enchant effect. Shortly after, Zhang Yunjing gets startled too when a reward screen pops up for her. Receiving an exclusive healer class necklace, it boosts her soul power storage and absorption. Ji Yao is also floored when an item gets sent her way. Her reward is a scroll that teaches her to summon the undead knight they just beat, with stats scaling off her own. Explaining things, our MC points out that all the hidden boss loot is tied to their exclusive classes. He goes on, saying this means he wasn't the only one recognizing them as part of the boss clear team, but the beginner dungeon itself also acknowledged their contribution. Racking up, he says without the group's help, this challenge would have never been cleared. Soon, a system notification congratulates the challengers for clearing the F-rank dungeon. Another message states the total time was 8 hours and 20 minutes, and our boy says it's time to head out. Pointing behind him, Ji Yao explains that whenever a dungeon gets cleared, it enters a settlement phase. Right behind them, a blue exit portal starts forming. Detailing it further, Ji Yao says rewards will be calculated and a portal will spawn for every living player, praising our boy for a good job. Relieved, our MC thinks about how everyone is still alive and the run was a success. A system notification confirms that at 4:30 in the afternoon, all players exited the dungeon. Outside, students start walking out of the portal, some thankful to be alive while others panic looking for their loved ones. Crying her eyes out, one girl mourns the loss of her boyfriend. Another student grieves since out of her class only 17 people survived the run. Mentioning he's the only survivor from his original squad, Yanze and the rest feel the same, while our MC reflects on how the world got like this since the awakening. He knows this is a world ruled by the awakened, where only the strong survive, and you gotta keep challenging yourself to level up. Pondering deeply, our boy realizes that while some are heartbroken over losing friend and family, others are hyped about gaining power and cash. Concluding, this world is just wild and twisted. Showing up on a hollow screen, the director congratulates the students for surviving, calling this their first real awakened challenge. He continues reminding them that awakened power isn't just about cash and glory but also responsibility, love, and peace. Asking those who lost someone to remember the pain, the director tells the winners to remember their own duty. Yahello then asks our boy how he feels with so many dead students, wondering if he's happy or sad. While the director hopes everyone finds their worth on the awakened path, our MC knows those students are gonna get revived. With a smile, the director reveals the dungeon's true lesson is that all lost classmates and relatives will resurrect in 30 minutes, and just like that, everything changed. The squad is mind-blown, and Yanzi asks in disbelief if that's actually true. Confirming they're all coming back, the director watches as a stunned Ji Yao looks over at our boy. She watches him walk away, wondering how he already knew that. A system screen pops up saying the dungeon stats are fully tallied. Announcing it next, the reward distribution phase is about to kick off. The first player, Li Guangrun, killed 4 monsters and bagged 16 coins. Up next, Song Quan took down an elite mob and scored 22 coins. Having a higher contribution, Jiang Xiaoyu wiped out a bunch of enemies. Then, it's finally time to show our boy's run results. His list is massive, packed with hundreds of kills, a defeated hidden boss, an S-rank rating, an exclusive title, and 91% contribution, all while the director scolds him for being late. Broadcasting the dungeon ranking to the whole school and city, the director declares student Su Ming is sitting comfortably in first place. Looking tired, our MC just replies that he overslept. A screen shows the city's level ranking, with our hero holding rank 1 at level 16, and his teammates right behind him. Since the dungeon is over, our boy figures his school life is done too, and he doesn't need to hide his power anymore, as the gap between him and everyone else is gonna be huge. Suddenly, he turns his head looking annoyed, grumbling a, "Hey!" Holding him in a tight hug, the director thanks him non-stop, and our boy asks how long he's gonna stay like that. Tears of joy streaming down his face, the old man says he doesn't know how he did it, but he finally helped Xuanjing Academy get payback after years at the bottom. Bragging that director Xie was left speechless. He hypes up their academy being #1 among 4 cities, so our MC asks about Li Chengwang's rank. Our boy figures that so-called genius only got 3rd place because he took heavy damage midway, slowing down his boss fight. Changing the subject, the suspicious director asks how he killed the hidden boss, since his starter class is weak and he doesn't have a rich family for good gear. He keeps wondering if it was the items he gave him, but brushes the idea off because they were way too mid, replying it was just luck. RMC says he got a bunch of useful skills and items, surprising the director with the amount of loot in the beginner dungeon. Also mentioning he found an awesome squad. He thinks to himself he can't reveal he reincarnated, and without their help, he wouldn't have made it. Smiling, the director says RMC isn't just an elite awakened, but a cracked leader too. He mentions other students came earlier for rewards, and Ji Yao couldn't stop hyping up his team's power. But our boy stays loft in him to tag along, and he just said no. Remembering Ji Yao praising him for fighting Li Chengwang, he thinks she used to gas up someone else like that, and now he just feels awkward about it. Right after, the director calls our MC and tells him to catch an item he's gonna throw. Tossing a golden object that our boy catches midair, the director reveals it's the Celestial Tower Assembly token. The token has a glowing symbol right in the center, giving off a golden aura. A quick flashback hits, showing the deputy mayor getting mad over a report. Explaining the situation, the director says thanks to our MC's first place, even the deputy mayor had to give their academy more tokens, getting them 5 spots split among him and his peers. He then says it's time to explain how big of a deal this token is. But our boy just smiles and cuts him off, saying there's no need since he already knows everything. The Celestial Tower Assembly is the dream spot for a ton of newbie awakened. After clearing the dungeon, students graduate and officially enter the awakened world. Most of them can only grind in low-level dungeons, making their progress slow and sketchy. Having that Celestial Tower qualification glowing in blue changes the whole game though. Anyone holding the token gets access to a way faster training route, with all kinds of challenges and crazy loot. Looking up, our boy thinks about how in his past life he didn't get this qualification this early. He reflects on how that stopped him from pulling ahead of other players since resources were tight. But in this life, life. He's gonna grab every chance to prep for the future. The director then calls him by his name, congratulating him. He says our boy officially awakened and graduated from Xuanjing Academy. Finally, the director warns him that future challenges won't be like the beginner dungeon where you can just restart, because from now on, every run is a gamble with your own life. Listening closely, our boy takes in the director's words with a dead serious look. With a smile, the director says he hopes this hidden genius reaches a great future and gives back to the world. A slight smirk forms on our boy's face. Shaking the director's hand, he thanks him and says he gets it. Later, in a rich district of Xuanjing City, we see a super luxurious skyline. Pulling up to a massive mansion, a black sports car parks right out front. Someone swings the front door wide open. A woman in the living room turns as the door opens, and a guy walks in, calling for Yunqing. Hugging Zhang Yunqing happily, an older man says it's great she made it back safe, especially ranking third in the academy, and praises her sister's helpers for being so capable. Smiling from the couch, the woman listens as Zhang says the credit isn't hers, then reveals a student named Su Ming gave Yunqing a hand. The old man is left completely shocked and confused. Jiang explains the helpers her sister brought in walked into a trap, and she almost wiped out too. But luckily our MC came to the rescue. Getting hyped, she adds he didn't just save her, but also dropped awesome skill books and gear, helping her level up and clear the dungeon. The woman then reveals she actually tried hiring that same kid at first to help Yunqing, but they had some beef and he turned down a huge payout. She remembers his rejection, never expecting them to meet in the dungeon anyway, and figures they really owe him a big thanks now. Scratching his head, the old man notes both of them seem to really like this classmate and agrees they need to find a proper way to thank him, calling him a super powerful awakened. The old guy says he wants to meet him too, so he tells Xiaolan to look up the kid's contact info. Right as he's talking, his phone starts ringing. He picks up the call, saying he's way too busy and telling them to cancel all meetings, urgent or not. But hearing what the person on the other end says, his eyes go wide and he just asks, "What?" Stopping in his tracks, the old man demands they repeat what they just said clearly and steps out of the room. The guy on the phone reports that over the last 2 days they found out someone sent assassins to take out a ton of their people. Asking if they know who's pulling the strings, the president gets an instant answer. It was the Zhang family. After that, 2 days go by. Someone calls our boy, warning Su Ming he's set to head into the Celestial Tower realm today, and this time he can't just go solo again. Replying that he knows, our MC says he spent the last 2 days getting his gear ready, and says he'll meet up with them later, while the caller agrees. His only focus right now is one thing, the Celestial Tower assembly. Recalling the director's words, he just needs to use his token to summon the teleport portal to the assembly. The guy's explanation echoes in his head, warning that this gate can only be opened by those with the assembly qualification. Thinking about the summon token, our boy holds it up in the air as the object starts glowing super bright. A system message pops up, confirming a qualified challenger was successfully verified. Right after a massive gate spawns right in front of him. Flashing a smirk, our boy faces his brand new challenge, the Celestial Tower Assembly. He looks up towards a huge building and states he's on his way, expanding his view. The shot shows this colossal, epic architecture that looks like it's floating in the clouds. Inside the bright portal light, our boy's hair is the first thing to pop through. Finishing his teleport, our MC looks up with a dead serious expression. Then staring at the massive structure, he confirms he's at the right spot. He faces the colossal 100-floor tower, the official turf of the Celestial Tower Assembly. Our boy remembers that in his past life, he only got the chance to come here super late and by pure luck. Checking out the area, he notices a ton of challengers from all over the country who scored tokens are dropping in one after another. With a little smirk, he thinks about how getting to Challenge's place again is actually getting him hyped. At that moment, the Celestial Tower token finishes scanning, locking him in as Su Ming. Shortly after, he steps into the venue, but looking around, he finds something a bit off. A system voice tells the new challengers to wait in the first floor lobby, but our boy thinks it's weird because this hall looks completely different from his past life. Gazing up at the decor, he realizes that in this timeline, the place is way bigger. Out of nowhere, somebody calls his name. Turning around, he sees his squad, Ji Yao, Yan Zhe, and Yan Qing, who point out he finally made it. Our boy says they got here pretty early, but the hothead snaps back. They've been waiting forever, asking why he never sticks with the group, though he defends himself saying he came right when the text told him to. Asking if they even planned a meetup, the squad confirms they're already friends and comrades after clearing that beginner dungeon together. The fiery girl keeps going, reminding him that from their academy, only their group got the qualification, so they better stick together for backup. But she complains they act like they forgot about her. Suddenly, someone rolls up from behind and throws a punch straight at our MC, dodging the hit like it's nothing. He hears someone scream his name. Nearby, a bystander points out someone is actually fighting, shocked they'd have the guts to do it here. Jiao yells at the attacker, calling him classmate Zhang Ying and demanding to know what's his problem. The guy, Zhang Tong, is furious, screaming about them hurting Xiaoman and swearing he'll settle the score today, grabbing a weapon and accusing our boy of hiding like a coward in the beginner dungeon. Questioning what's going on with Xiaoman, our MC listens as Zhang Tong says he never expected him to get the assembly token too and threatens to end him right there. Super chill. Our boy tells Zhang Tong to back off, warning him that the messy drama with Ren Xiaoman isn't getting solved here today. Without warning, a system alert pops up detecting a conflict event and flashing that this is a strict no-combat zone. Right after, Zhang Tang gets blasted by lightning, as the system states any behavior messing with the Celestial Tower Assembly's order is strictly forbidden. Smirking, our MC warns Zhang Tang not to even think about running since someone above is watching, promising they'll properly settle the score once the assembly is over. One of the guys in the squad realizes that even though it looks like a welcome, they're actually being monitored, figuring this assembly is no joke. A red-haired dude is also watching the whole scene go down with a dead serious stare. Calling someone over, the redhead orders them to drag the injured challenger to the medbay, while one of our MC's teammates asks why they came here, suggesting they should wait for the ceremony and read the guide. But our boys locked and Acta stay saying there's no need to wait in line for the guide since that's rookie stuff, and reveals the real secret is in the seats. Asking if it's his first time here, Jiao watches as our boy just sits down and tells her to pay close attention, explaining they just need to chill in the seat for a bit. The hothead is left incredibly confused by the instruction. He then adds that the assembly selection system is about to pop up, leaving the fiery girl completely shocked. Getting a familiar feeling, our boy braces for what's coming next. A system message welcomes the fresh challengers to the Celestial Tower Assembly's initiation run, the 104 Tower Challenge. Seeing her own screen pop up, the hothead notices the goal is to climb the tower to clear the stage, which locks in their ranking, so she hurries Yanzei to grab a seat. She wonders out loud if it's a tower climbing contest and our MC confirms it, explaining that the higher the floor you reach, the better the final score. Elaborating further, he says if everyone reaches the same floor, the final rank comes down to clear time and challenge difficulty. The hot-headed girl realizes time is a massive factor too and that they need to jump in ASAP. Our boy agrees, explaining they're already one step ahead because the assembly uses ceremonies to test the challenger's observation and adaptability, so waiting for the guide just leaves you in the dust. Asking if the three of them want to keep partying up with him to climb the tower just like in the beginner dungeon, Yunxing says yes since she feels safe around him. But Yanzei looks hesitant, pointing out the assembly token has strict limits, so even if his family wanted to hire a carry for him, it'd be impossible. Staying quiet, our MC just listens to his friend's thoughts. After thinking it over, Yanzei decides not to join the team, leaving Yunxing surprised by his choice. He explains that back in the beginner dungeon, they leaned way too hard on our MC's power, and he doesn't want to be dead weight anymore, wanting to grind and get stronger on his own. Agreeing they need a real challenge, the hothead suggests the three of them party up to lock in a solid win rate, inviting Yunxing to tag along. Yunxing gets a little shy about the invite, but she quickly accepts with a smile, stating she also needs to learn how to rely on her own skills to level up. With everything settled, the system shows her boy pick the solo mode to challenge the tower. Meanwhile, the other screen confirms Yanzei, the hothead, and Yunxing are running the tower as a three-player squad. Watching from a distance, the redhead sees the group split up and figures out what's going down. He smirks to himself, thinking about our 10-star MC and how their duel still hasn't been settled. Right after, a system prompt announces the party setups are locked in and the 100-floor tower challenge is officially starting. Waving goodbye, our boy says he's heading out first and will be waiting to hear about their good results. The trio wishes him luck and promises they're gonna go all out too. Then, he walks straight toward the teleport gate. A system screen tags him as Challenger Su Ming, ID 001, the very first to enter the 100-floor tower challenge. Next up, the screen drops the info on the opponent he's facing on the first floor run. The enemy's name is the Furious, and our confident boy thinks this is gonna be a walk in the park. Glowing blue energy starts manifesting and taking shape. Our MC is left scratching his head at the sight, and this is where it gets good. A free-range Qingyuan chicken shows up, leaving him confused since this challenge is different from his past life. Staring down at the animal's feet, then checking out its tail feathers, and finally spotting its bright comb. It's definitely a chicken. Grabbing the bird right by the neck, our boy holds the creature, wondering why the first floor monster is just a chicken. Flashing back to his past life, he remembers the floor 1 boss was a level 5 purple-furred demon tiger. The memory of the tiger crosses his mind. Figuring out this trial is completely changed, he wonders if the tower is mocking him for being a rookie. Suddenly, he notices the chicken's level is unknown, marked only with question marks. Trying to make sense of it, the bird gets mad, so he decides to wrap this up fast. Breaking free, the creature lunges forward to attack, catching our MC off guard. He blocks the strike with his arm, feeling the heavy impact. Getting knocked back, the chicken's strength takes him by surprise. Our hero is left stunned by how powerful this bird actually is. Right away, he realizes this chicken is no ordinary enemy. Sprinting at high speed, the bird kicks up dust everywhere it goes. Glowing with pure rage, the animal's eye signals real danger. Launching straight at him, our boy concludes this chicken is built different. Meanwhile, outside, the opening ceremony for the Rookie Challenge wraps up. A giant screen announces the 100-floor tower teleport guide is next, but a girl in the crowd looks confused. She and others notice a floor ranking is already on the board with Challenger 002 in first, wondering how someone is climbing when the run just ended. Confirming the top spot is Lee Ching-wong, Wuyang City's 10-star genius who already cleared floor 2. The board reveals he's known as the Blade Maniac. Back in the fight, our boy draws his blade. Slashing at the chicken, he cuts a few feathers, but the bird doesn't even flinch. Pushing forward, the animal is locked in for another strike. Dropping a massive peck, it hits the ground with terrifying force. Using Stealth Step, our MC is amazed by the attack speed, which moves fast as a bullet. Gaining a speed buff, he charges straight at his opponent. Trading blows at crack speeds, they leave a trail of destruction behind. He figures out the explosive power of the skill is seriously heavy too. Swiping with its claws, the chicken tries to tag him, but he dodges. Our boy easily sidesteps the incoming hit. Without warning, the creature boosts its speed using a special move. Moving so fast it turns into an energy projectile. It slices through the air, attacking from all angles. Taking a hit, our boy feels the raw power of the strike. He realizes the attack was way too fierce and his current sword draw and sword control skills just aren't cutting it here. Knowing he needs to find a weak spot, he understands dragging this fight out will only waste time. If that happens, the head start he got from entering first will be completely gone. Then he remembers he can test the new skill he got from dropping the beginner dungeon hidden boss. Glaring back, the bird is primed for one more assault. Getting into a stance, our MC preps his counter. Ducking out of the way, he evades another strike from the chicken. Launched into the air, the bird gets sent flying by the impact. Smirking, he spots the perfect opening right as the creature is about to land. The chicken readies itself for a fresh dive. Unleashing a heavy swing, our boy strikes with his sword. The blast is so strong it knocks our MC backward. A skill description pops up, explaining that Sword Tomb summons a giant blade from the ground to deal massive damage. Our boy wonders if the hit actually connected, but he is left completely shocked looking at the chicken. Stepping out unharmed, the bird proves the attack didn't work at all. Getting annoyed, he thinks this fight is never ending, and the chicken's power is way too cracked for a floor 1 mob. Suddenly, an idea hits him. He asks himself if this creature is really just a regular chicken after all. Flying right at him, the animal is locked and loaded for another hit. Slamming his blade into the dirt, our hero braces for impact. As the bird closes in, he senses something is off. Staring the chicken down, the guy clearly has a plan ready to go. He busts out a chicken immobilization technique. Flashing a quick smirk, he thinks it's exactly what he expected, and strikes it with his sword. A little wiki pop-up explains the trick, calling it a stress-induced play-dead defense mechanism in chickens. Congratulating him, a system message confirms the first 4 challenge is officially cleared. Thinking about the run, he realizes the chicken's strength was way above its original level. He wraps it up, deciding the test wasn't about power but brains, and this timeline's 100-floor tower is super interesting. Walking up to the scoreboard, he sees Lee Chang-won currently holding the top spot, confirming the Blade Maniac is first. Our boy notices other challengers are climbing too, meaning his head start is totally gone. Grinning, our boy actually finds this setup pretty cool. That really fires up his fighting spirit. Stating his goal, he declares he's locked in to take first place in this tower climbing speedrun. Over on the big screen, the host is breaking down the rules. She reveals the real trick to entering the 100-floor tower challenge is using the seats on both sides, which act as standalone login points for the challengers. Wasting no time, the virtual girl asks all competitors to take their challenge seats. Panicking hard, the crowd realizes the long opening ceremony was a trap and they got clowned, so everyone scrambles to find a spot. Yelling loudly, one competitor says this race is a fight for every single second. Another guy complains they could have entered the tower from the start, figuring out that's why the Blade Maniac is already ranked, and tells everyone to check the board. Flashing the stats, the screen shows the number 1 spot, Lee Chen-wong with ID 002, already cleared floor 6. The kid is left mind-blown by how that even happened. Suddenly, Riking updates with a team in 3rd place, shocking a challenger who sees a squad is already climbing. He can't believe so many people figured out the seats for the actual entrance. Right then, the board blinks again and a guy points out that number 001, the very first to enter, finally showed up. Dropping a prompt, the system says the title reward has been claimed. Smiling wide, our MC says that's exactly what he wanted as the title's Slaughter God pops up. Updating again, the board shows the Slaughter God in 3rd place for clearing floor 1, leaving someone wondering if that's a title. Then, a notification pops up for him to claim his first floor clear reward. Seeing the prize is a custom title, he gets a little confused. Already on the 2nd floor, he questions what's the point of this loot. At that moment, he remembers things went down differently in his past life. Recalling the old timeline after killing the floor 1 guardian, the reward was a tiny wooden chest with a useless healing potion inside. Knowing for a fact he didn't get a title, the system then asks him to input the name he wants. Our boy realizes a ton of things changed in this life, wondering if it's all because of his reincarnation. Deciding there's no use stressing over it, he just rolls with the changes. Quickly, he types out the title he picked. Choosing to use his past life class name, he types in Slaughter God. A message confirms challenger Su Ming's display name has been changed to Slaughter God. Our boy wonders if this title actually replaces his real name on the leaderboard. Right then, a notification warns that the floor guardian just spawned. A level 3 flying bat materializes right in front of him. Glaring at him, the creature gives off a menacing vibe, but before it can even make a move, the beast is sliced into tiny pieces, destroying the mob in the blink of an eye. Our boy dashes forward with his sword. Instantly, the scoreboard updates, showing the Slaughter God already cleared the 2nd floor. Down in the crowd, the other competitors are shocked, noting he passed floor 2 in just 1 minute. Meanwhile, our boy is already on floor 3, facing off against a level 5 troll hunter, finishing the monster off without breaking a sweat. Right after the 3rd floor clear message pops up, hitting floor 4, he charges straight at a level 6 three-eyed herbivore. Unsurprisingly, the beast is also wiped out in a flash, leaving the crowd mind-blown. They talk about how cracked the Slaughter God's climbing speed really is. Displaying his progress, the board shows he climbed 2 floors in under 10 minutes, closing in on Ji Yao's squad in 2nd place on floor 5. But someone points out the top guy, Lee Cheng-wong, is dead serious and already passed the 8th floor. Our boy also notices the Blade Maniac cleared floor 8. Flashing a smirk, he finds this speedrun race super entertaining. Then he groans about the time he wasted on the 1st floor. Treating it like a tiny head start, he handed to the competition. Declaring his next move, he says from here on out he's going full throttle. Now on floor 5, he faces a level 7 saber-toothed Cerberus. Going all out, our boy rushes the 3-headed monster. Bodied instantly, the creature is destroyed in a single strike. At the same time, Ji Yao's squad manages to clear floor 6 after beating a giant skeleton. One of the girls, Ji Yao, says they cleared the floor safely, breaking down their setup of using her summons as tanks, while Yan Ze deals damage and Yun Cheng handles crowd control and heals. Praising their teamwork, Ji Yao gets interrupted by something. The leader looks surprised, checking the updated scoreboard. Yelling Su Ming's name, another member, Yun Cheng, is totally shocked. Pointing out how fast he ranked up, the board shows the Slaughter God in 2nd place after clearing floor 7, pushing their squad to 3rd. Meanwhile, the Blade Maniac destroys another monster. Finishing floor 9, he notes the mobs are finally starting to get a bit decent. Scoffing, the guy says they still aren't a real challenge for him. Remembering the rules, he knows whoever clears floor 10 first gets an extra reward. Figuring out the Slaughter God is Su Ming, the Blade Maniac doesn't get his delay on floor 1, but believes there's no way he passes him now. Claiming the extra loot for himself, he guarantees floor 10 is his win. But he stops in his tracks, confused by a new notification. Updating fast, the board shows the Slaughter God, rank 001, also cleared the 9th floor. Right then, our MC is already on floor 10, primed for battle. A level 15 Furious Minotaur spawns before him, radiating raw power. In the crowd, people argue over watching or climbing, but the hype takes over and everyone starts betting on who's faster, the Slaughter God or the Blade Maniac. Taking a brutal hit, our boy gets slammed by the Minotaur. Managing to block, he holds off the creature's strike. Slashing at the monster, he lands multiple hits. Flashing a confident smirk, our boy tells the beast not to give up so soon. Taunting the Minotaur, our boy points out it only lasted 30 seconds. Raising his sword for the finishing blow, he says the monster's weakness actually helped. contribute a big part to his tower climbing speedrun. Triggering Sword Tomb. Dark energy explodes, completely disintegrating the monster. A blonde guy mutters, "It has to be this way," and that Su Ming forced his hand. Feeling his attack spike, our MC decides to stack both speed and power at the same time. A system notification pops up, confirming he cleared floor 10. Right as there's another message congratulates our boy for being the first to finish, locking in a bonus reward. Meanwhile, somewhere else, a heart monitor starts beeping. Checking the vitals, a nurse notices the patient's pulse is steady. Suddenly, the guy wakes up, startling the girl who yells that he's conscious. Looking around the medbay, the nurse announces the patient who got zapped for causing trouble in the tower is finally awake. Thinking about the nurses, the blonde guy gets totally embarrassed. Realizing exactly where he is, he looks up at the big screen. Spotting an empty lobby, the guy realizes every other challenger already went up the tower. Pulling his own hair, he loses his mind. Panicking hard, he screams about what to do since the main group completely left him in the dust. Whining that he can't avenge Shah Homan, the blonde kid realizes his level is never going to catch up to Su Ming's again. Realizing he acted way too hot-headed, he regrets being so reckless. Accusing Su Ming of knowing the rules and setting him up, he decides that as the Jiang family master, he needs to find a way to fix this. Right then, an idea hits him. Deciding it doesn't matter if his level falls behind, the guy swears Su Ming needs a lesson, even if he has to use his family's power. Grabbing his phone with pure determination, he claims he won't hold back. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Zhang Tang texts his family, asking to use their connections to help him take someone out. Walking up to a seat, he remembers the nurses said he needed to sit there to trigger the quest. Checking the rankings, he spots over 100 players but can't find Su Ming, and looking up, he sees Wuyong Academy's Li Qingwang in second place, clearing floor 16. Commenting that the guy is just as fierce outside school as he is inside. The kid gets startled by something on the board. Left completely shocked, he looks at the number 1 spot and wonders who the heck the Slaughter God is. Displaying the top rank, the screen shows the Slaughter God already cleared floor 18, making the guy think that doesn't even sound like a real name. Back in the action, our MC is mid-battle, rushing a crystal monster with his sword. Landing a solid hit, he shatters a piece of its amethyst armor. Swiping back, the crystal beast counters with its claw. The force of the strike is so heavy he gets tossed far away. Our boy admits making it this far up the tower is actually pretty exhausting for his current level. Staring down the amethyst crypt beast, he faces the floor 19 boss. The big boss is a level 20 amethyst crypt beast, and our boy notices the mob mechanics are getting way more complex. Analyzing the fight, he sees the main body stays buried and the surface amethyst is insanely tough. Making things worse, the underground body keeps spawning little minions up top to attack, and those annoying little mobs have defenses just as cracked as the boss. Rushing the minions, he tries to crack their armor with his blade, but the beasts are just too tanky and he ends up taking a hit in the process. Our boy concludes that if he relied solely on his old silver weapon, breaking their defense would be impossible. Luckily, he seems to have a trick up his sleeve, facing the situation dead serious. Securing the gold tier weapon chest as a bonus for clearing floor 10 first. Then, using his sublimation of all things talent, he upgraded the gold chest to platinum. Opening it up, he grabbed the black stone rift combine sword locked behind a level 18 requirement. The weapon description reveals it's a platinum tier dual blade forged from a dragon scale, acting as both a longsword and a dagger, plus a 200% fire damage buff. He thinks using the longsword form boosts execution damage heavily, but trades off a bit of speed. Because of that, it's not ideal for dealing with a huge swarm of enemies like the one he's fighting now. With no options left, he triggers a weapon function and splits it right down the middle. A system alert confirms the broken blade trait is active, turning it into twin swords, buffing attack speed by 50%, but dropping slash damage by 30%. Wielding the dual blades, our MC knows that even with lower attack power, he can combo it with his origin sword body talent. The screen shows the origin sword body gives a solid buff to all weapons. Meanwhile, on floor 17, the Blade Maniac faces off against a giant monster. Smashing the ground with a heavy strike, the creature misses as the challenger dodges just in time. Li Qingwang lands on the dirt, breathing hard. Rocking level 16, he glares at his opponent with a tense look, facing off against the level 18 giant Traint. The guy admits he's hit his limit, since the monster's weakness is fire and he doesn't have a single skill like that to fight back. Striking him hard, the creature tosses him away as he realizes his level is also dragging him down. Out of nowhere, he complains the worst part is not getting a single reward that actually boosts his stats. Right then, a notification pops up saying he cleared floor 10 and got a silver chest, all because he lost a speedrun race to Su Ming. Left with no choice, he accepts the MAB reward, but opening the chest just proves his luck is even worse. Inside the box is a magic-type accessory, and the Blade Maniac gets totally furious for pulling something completely useless to him at such a crucial stage. Li Chengwang takes a massive hit without even putting up a guard. Knocked backward by the monster's raw power, he realizes he just can't push himself any further. Looking stressed, he knows that if he stays any longer, he's totally done for. So, he decides to call it quits and hits the exit button. A system notification announces that challenger number 2 chose to give up on floor 17. Meanwhile, a bunch of other messages drop, showing plenty of challengers also tapped out on floors 9 and 7. Scrolling down, the list shows more players quitting on the 11th and 10th floors. Back in the fight, our boy dual wields to slice through the little crystal minions at lightning speed. Flashing a smirk, he clearly has a plan in mind. Clearing a path, he finally manages to close the gap to the boss's main body. He then preps a skill, making his blade glow with a dark aura. Without holding back, he triggers Sword Tomb, slamming the blade deep into the crystal. Piercing right through the surface, the strike tags the monster's real body underground, and our MC calls it a coward. Then a system prompt confirms he successfully cleared the 19th floor. More alerts pop up, showing teams and players dropping out on floors 12 and 13, displaying Challenger 53 quitting on floor 14. The screen also locks Li Chengwang in 3rd place for stopping at floor 17. He checks the prompt and notes that even the Blade Maniac tapped out, admitting the tower's difficulty is spiking and hitting floor 17 is actually impressive. Remembering his past life, he knows the 20th floor is a massive turning point where the difficulty just skyrockets. Because of that, he figures his current stats make floor 19 pretty much his limit. But right at that moment, he finally hits level 20 and realizes he can bust out that nostalgic move. The image of his sword god class flashes as he preps to unleash the power he chose for this life. Stepping onto floor 20, our MC enters the rank 1 challenger's domain. He moves forward, stepping firmly onto the cracked ground, ready for whatever comes next. Suddenly, a barrage of pink energy blades flies right at him, forcing a quick dodge. Locking in, he analyzes the whole situation while under fire. Then, he busts out his sword control skill to hit right back. But across the room, a white-armored knight deflects every single strike like it's nothing. The clash of their blades creates a massive energy explosion. Knocked back by the heavy impact, our boy loses his footing. Gripping his sword tight, he's dead serious about winning this brawl. Next, he triggers Divine Shadow Step, giving his speed a massive boost. Blurring into a shadow, he unleashes a fast-paced combo on his opponent. However, the knight blocks everything effortlessly, making our MC realize his defenses are way too casual. A status window reveals the enemy is a level 25 Guardian Knight, confirming to our boy that this is a cracked boss. Glowing bright red, the Guardian's eye shines right through its helm. The monster then raises its sword, which starts flaring with a purple aura. Sensing the danger, our MC looks up in total shock. With a heavy swing, the knight fires off a purple energy wave, catching our boy totally off guard. He tries to block it with his arms, but takes the hit point blank. Completely stunned, he realizes a high-level monster skill is just way too overpowered, launching him into the air. The purple energy blast sends him flying far away. Covered in dust, our boy admits there's no way he can block that kind of attack. With his HP flashing red, he concludes his current gear and stats just can't tank the knight's skills. Doing the math, he figures each hit shreds his health, meaning he can only survive one more at best. It hits him that even as a reincarnator, he still can't just bully mobs way above his level in the tower. Smiling slightly, he actually admits he saw this coming all along. So, he activates the Shadow Blade, revealing he only kept climbing just to test out that specific skill he could only unlock at level 20. Getting ready, he remembers that back in his past life, this was his most prideful move, the Slaughter God Strike, and he unleashes it with everything he's got. A massive burst of red energy surges straight at the Guardian Knight. Far away from the fight, Li Chengguang steps through the portal and regroups with the other challengers. Everyone in the crowd is mind-blown, with one guy calling it insane that the Slaughter God is still climbing since he got bodied on floor 10 himself. Shipping in, another player flexes lasting until floor 12, and they all agree post-floor 10 mobs are way too tough for rookies, wondering where this Slaughter God came from to run floor 20 on his first try. Shocked by someone taking on floor 20, a dude calls it out and grabs Cheng Wang's attention. A mysterious figure rolls up, pointing out that Cheng Wang actually lost to the Slaughter God. Ticked off by the loss, Li Chengwang just grits his teeth and grumbles. Meanwhile, back in the arena, the smoke from our boy's overpowered attack slowly clears out. Seeing the Guardian Knight still standing with his HP basically gone, he admits he has no choice but to take the loss since even his ultimate move failed. Our boy then taps the system screen to officially forfeit the run. Flashing an alert, the system announces Challenger Rank 1 chose to drop out on 420. Back to reality. Covered in scratches, our boy mutters to himself that he actually lost. But suddenly a voice tells him he didn't lose, leaving our MC completely confused. The voice belongs to the Guardian Knight, who explains our boy's current stats just aren't high enough to unleash that skill's true power. Left speechless that the monster can actually talk, he listens as the boss says he hopes he comes back for a rematch later. Right after that, our boy gets teleported straight out of the arena. Spawning back in the lobby, he announces his return right as someone yells the leaderboard just updated. The crowd gossips that even the slaughter god failed, but stopping at floor 19 is still insane since the genius Li Changwang only hit 16, leaving everyone wondering who this guy really is. Getting all hyped up, a girl decides to ask the newcomers if they're the slaughter god, walking right up to a very confused Su Ming. She keeps pushing for an answer, but our boy denies it, realizing his stealth skill doesn't work well in the tower, though keeping his score a secret definitely avoids drama. Glancing at the board, he sees Ji Yao's squad is still running floor 14, figuring their teamwork leveled up and they can climb higher if they play it safe. Since he's done here, our MC decides to hit the next stage, explaining that hitting level 20 unlocked his second class change quest, so he's gonna grab a subjugation mission nearby. Walking up to the quest board, he gets let down seeing only F, E, and D rank missions are unlocked at his current level. After checking the spots, he takes a peek and decides he can only really pick one of them. The screen flashes his pick, Mission D17, detailing a hunt for a Python King in the Nanli District Wild Forest, paying out 10,000 Advent coins and a random platinum skill scroll. Shortly after, a system notification pops up saying he scored a Celestial Tower access token, giving him a free pass to enter or leave the tower zone whenever he wants. Rocking a confident smirk, our boy holds up his brand new token. Next up, another alert drops, confirming he's now clear to enter the illusory realm zone. He then finds himself in this crazy fantasy landscape with a giant dome right in the middle, figuring this has to be the illusory realm. Taking in the view, he realizes it's an illusion zone tied to the tower's hub, but it looks absolutely nothing like the real world. Flashing back, a memory shows that before the awakening, the real world was just for humans, but then crazy anomalies like dragons, demons, and monsters started dropping in. Humanity had to merge with the world of awakened classes just to survive the chaos. Through massive sacrifices and endless grinding, their ancestors managed to lock down a new order in this messed up world. That's how the illusory realm zone was born, a spot cut off from the real world where humans chill in peace, while demons and beasts got dumped into other dimensions. Because of that, the 100-floor tower challenges act as the gateway opening the illusory realm for rookie adventurers. Gazing at the horizon, he remembers rumors saying the top of the tower hides the truth about the awakening, regretting he never made it that far in his past life. But with a dead serious look, he knows he's incredibly lucky to get a fresh start in this life. His main goal right now is to snatch everything he missed out on before. Then a system window asks if he wants to head into the illusory realm since a portal just opened up. Turning it down, he says he needs to make a quick pit stop in the real world first. The system confirms his choice and pops open a portal straight to the real world. Checking out his 10,000 coin payout for running floor 20, he figures it's enough to cover an order he placed 2 days ago. With a huge smile, he's totally hyped since this is the order for his very first advanced weapon in this new life. Rolling up to the weapon trading center in the real world, a massive building, he thinks about being back here again. He grips his sword, remembering that the silver weapon he's rocking right now came from this exact spot. The blade is called the Shiwan Steel Bloodthirst Sword. Knowing the weapon is too weak for his current runs, he still loves its 6 support buffs, so he doesn't want to just trash it yet. Its effects are Crimson Drink, draining enemy blood for heals, and Bloodthirst, boosting stats by 5 points for 30 seconds after dropping a mob. Flashing back 2 days, Ji Yao calls our MC, inviting him to tag along with her, Yan Zhe, and Yun Qing to buy Celestial Tower gear using their beginner dungeon loot. Our boy shoots her down, saying he's gotta do his own prep, and even when she begs him to hit the weapon trading center together, he zones her out after spotting something on a terminal. Celebrating the win, he sees his request got accepted with a 10,000 Advent coin down payment. So he thanks Ji Yao for the invite, but tells her the spot where he's buying his gear is in a completely different direction. Right after that, he steps into an elevator and hits the button for the basement. Arriving at his destination, he steps onto floor A2, basement 2B, warehouse 9S. Our boy stands inside a massive underground warehouse. Waiting inside, a woman calls out that he's running late. She stands up and asks if he actually managed to scrape together the rest of the cash. A notification confirms the 10,000 coin transfer and congratulates our boy for getting the weapon replica enhancement device. He thinks about his sublimation of all things talent, which only works once per item, and drops a totally random result. Because of that, the only way to keep his sword's buffs while upgrading it was to use the device he just bought. The gadget's effect levels up the item by copying and locking in its original skills, which also get a random boost during the upgrade. Successfully upgraded into the Shiwen Edge Bloodthirst Sword, the new Rainbow Drink effect drains corrupted blood to heal, while Bloodthirst spikes his stats by 20 points for a whole minute. Left completely blown away, the woman says she's the only one who could craft that device, asking how he found her and knew she'd succeed, since materials alone cost over 10 grand and she never expected a fresh awakened to drop that much cash, without fearing she'd fail. Our boy asks she said they didn't know each other, leaving Nahora confused and wondering if her memory is just terrible. Flashing a smile, our boy says he's just joking, but thinks to himself they definitely knew each other in his past life. He remembers she was a totally cracked weaponsmith, and that even with just an 8-star talent, her passion and insane grind took her straight to the top. In his previous life, they teamed up all the time, and the crafter helped him forge his exclusive weapons on multiple runs. The cash he blew on those collabs was astronomical, making 20,000 coins right now look like pocket change, so he knows he needs to prep early. He plans to totally take advantage of the fact that she's dead broke right now. Dropping the bomb, RMC tells Nahura he knows she's out of cash for her next weapon research, leaving her shocked as he offers a 10 grand sponsorship right now, with more to come after his next run. The smith gets insanely hyped and asks if he's actually being for real. Overjoyed, she straight up asks if he's some kind of angel, but our boy holds up one finger warning her there's a catch. He explains that moving forward, whenever he needs custom weapons, Nahura has to hook him up with a massive 70% discount. Without hesitating, she accepts the deal on the spot. Rocking a sly grin, our boy confirms they've got a deal, and that's where it gets crazy. Right after, the scene cuts to the illusory realm zone out in the wild. Arriving at Shakchuan Forest, a tiny creature is just chilling peacefully in the grass. But suddenly, the little guy's eyes go wide with pure panic. A massive, terrifying carnivorous plant pops up right behind it, ready to swallow it whole. Out of nowhere, a black blur flies past and saves the little beast at the very last second. It's our boy stepping out of the portal perfectly safe. Glancing around, he's totally amazed by the forest, thinking this is exactly what you'd expect from the illusory realm. Our MC notices the trees here are way more gigantic compared to the ones in the beginner dungeon. Mixed with the smell of the wild, he also catches a faint scent of blood lingering in the air. Then, he pulls up his map to figure out where his target is hiding. Mission D17 is a hunt for a 3rd shift level 25 scale Serpent King, a beast that already ate several tower members and packs some terrifying power. Staring south, the massive trees completely block his line of sight, making it super hard to scout the area. He realizes that since the trees are way too tall and thick, climbing them like he did in the beginner run is out of the question. However, he's got one trick up his sleeve he can try. Reflecting for a second, he admits he's not actually rocking a genuine sword controller class. But having the sword control skill, he imagines how cracked it would be to fly on his blade, just like the real deal. Smiling a bit, he thinks the whole vibe will be straight up badass. So he decides it's totally worth a shot and steps right onto his weapon. Next, our boy fires up the sword control skill, except it totally flops, throwing him off balance and sending him face first into the dirt instantly. Grabbing his blade mid-fall, he figures it failed exactly as expected, since sword flight is probably locked as an exclusive controller skill. Right in the middle of crashing down, an idea sparks in his head. He screams as his own sword drags him violently through the forest. And that's when it clicks, realizing he can't actually stand on the blade to fly. Instead, he just has to hold the weapon, use sword control to lock onto a target and trigger a skill. Locked in, he fires the skill up again using his brand new strat. This lets the blade pull him at insane speeds, basically letting him fly right over the canopy. Cruising above the trees, our boy takes in the sick view and yells that he can see everything. He manages to spot exactly what's going down over in the south. Meanwhile, down in the forest, a portal pops open near the water, and 3 people step out. A buff dude asks for a sitrep, and another guy confirms this is definitely the D17 subjugation zone. Explaining the deal, a girl says most subjugation quests are run in squads, but this target is the only one who grabbed it totally solo. Because of that, tracking his name Xu Ming through the solo queue on the quest board was a breeze. The woman scoffs at how he actually had the guts to take a subjugation run all by himself. While the white-haired guy thinks our MC is pretty brave, the woman disagrees, calling him a clueless rookie who's gonna die to the quest anyway, so they don't even need to hunt him. But the level 27 buff guy says they gotta rush, just in case he dies too fast and they miss out on cashing in the bounty on his head. Somewhere else, a system alert drops saying Challenger Zhang Chang willingly gave up on floor 13. Looking exhausted, Zhang Tong complains about barely making it to floor 13. He realizes he fell behind a ton of challengers right from the start, mainly because he couldn't find anyone to team up with earlier. Because of that, his score for his first tower run ended up being total trash, and he knows for a fact he's dragging at the bottom of the rankings. Glancing around, Zhang notices the lobby is almost empty, figuring everyone else already started their subjugation quests, pushing him even further behind on progress. He then checks the tower leaderboard but can't find Su Ming's score anywhere. Frustrated, Zhang wonders if our MC just rage quit the challenge, annoyed that even if he hires hitmen, they can't do anything without a location. Meanwhile, a group of adventurers celebrates with one girl telling Ji Yao they only cleared floor 15 thanks to her awesome shot calling. Ji Yao thanks everyone for the grind, admitting a main tank would have pushed their score higher since her summons are squishy, but another girl says their rank is already cracked even without Su Ming's carry. Hiding nearby, Xiang Tang eavesdrops and is shocked from his campus with way better scores right as the group mentions they wasted too much time and asks about our boy's current progress. He immediately tunes in even closer upon hearing that question. Ji Yao says she messaged our boy and he already grabbed a subjugation quest and dipped, shocking another girl who asks if he's really running it solo. Confirming it, Ji Yao explains he's always been a lone wolf since they were kids, so the squad decides to stick together as a trio to avoid falling too far behind him. Flashing an evil smirk, Zhang Tong pulls out his phone. He thinks he just found a solid lead, figuring our solo MC must have taken a low-level subjugation and quickly pulls up his exact quest log on the screen. Right as Durza gets a text back with one crystal-clear order, find him and drop him. Cutting away, the scene shifts to the D17 subjugation zone in the South District. Our boy touches down in a completely ruined village deep in the woods. Scanning the area, he comments that the place looks like it got absolutely wrecked. He stands in the middle of the rubble, closely analyzing his surroundings. Walking closer, our MC finds a bunch of bodies, realizing they belong to the villagers of a beast-man settlement. He spots a green corrosive liquid all over them, figuring out that's what wiped them out. The heavy stench in the air, he quickly realizes, is straight-up snake venom. That proves his target is definitely close. But he also catches another nasty smell mixed in with the blood. Peering deeper into the woods, he tracks down exactly where that stench is coming from. A loud buzzing sound from a swarm of flies fills the air. Covering his nose, our boy runs right into a massive, disgusting pile of green slime. He instantly gets that the foul smell is coming straight from that pile. Seeing so much of that slime scattered around, he knows his target is getting closer by the second. He then asks himself just how massive this Python King has to be to leave that much behind. But suddenly, he hears a noise. Using his sword control, he senses something hiding behind a tree and strikes right at it. But something tiny dodges out of the way, leaving our boy completely surprised. A cat girl pops up looking terrified, telling him to back off and warning that her claws are sharp. Throwing something right at his face, our MC just stands there with no clue what's going on. He comments that it's just a little pet, but the cat girl gets mad and screams she isn't an animal. The level 3 cat girl asks if he also came to attack her village and repeats for him to stay away. Displaying her status screen, it shows she's a level 3 assassin from the catfolk race with pretty high agility. Right after our boy activates his eye of perception to get a better look. Her name is revealed as Leah by the skill, and our guy calls her out by it. Shocked that he knows her name, she keeps yelling at him to stay back while our MC just repeats it again. He then tosses a potion over to Leah and tells her to catch it, leaving the cat girl scratching her head. With a calm voice, he explains it's a healing potion since she's clearly injured. Calming her down, our boy tells her not to worry because he isn't there to raid her village. And then, he adds that the village is already destroyed anyway, and his real target is the python that caused all this mess. The cat girl gets worried, warning him that the giant python is way too dangerous to fight solo. Our boy tells her to relax, mentioning that's the exact mission that brought him out here. Looking super concerned, Leah takes a second to think. Shortly after, she claims she can actually track down the python's nest. Begging him, she asks to tag along on the hunt. With tears in her eyes, the cat girl reveals that Beast swallowed all her family members. Our MC notes it's getting darker and he can't detect any movement, so he asks if she's sure about the direction, and she confirms it's right ahead. Arriving in front of a massive tree, he points out there's nothing there, but Leah points up in a panic, screaming that it's high up above. He looks up, completely clueless. Coiled around the top of the tree, hiding in the dark, a gigantic serpent is fast asleep. The sheer size of the snake leaves our boy stunned, commenting it's way bigger than he expected. Realizing a D-rank quest is no joke, he figures he needs to rethink his game plan to take this beast down. Suddenly, the cat girl senses something off. Turning around, Leah screams for our MC to watch his back. An arrow goes whizzing by and one of the attackers, ticked off they got spotted, decides to just rush them head on since the ambush failed. Getting annoyed, our boy yells out, demanding to know who's firing arrows from the shadows. A group of people steps out of the dark, and their leader mocks him, saying our guy's pretty sharp. Continuing his trash talk, he surprised a simple level 20 student dodged the trap, but warns his luck is about to run out. One of the squad members calls for a joint attack. Shouting loudly, the archer orders to end him right on the spot. The woman backs him up, telling him to finish the job. Wrapping it up, the leader yells to grab that bounty. Our boy easily dodges a barrage of incoming attacks. Then the squad's mage taunts him, saying he might dodge arrows, but let's see if he can evade her magic. And with that, she chucks a huge fireball straight at our MC. Taking a direct hit, a massive explosion completely rocks the area. Down on the ground, his health bar reveals he took some serious damage. But before he can even catch his breath, the enemy brute is already rushing him. Winding up for a punch, the huge guy aims right for our hero. The strike lands heavy, leaving a trail of destruction and sending our boy flying. Mocking him, the brute wonders if that's all he's got, thinking it's overkill to hire all three of them just to drop him, and jokes about how easy it is to milk rich people for cash. The mage adds she expected him to be cracked for soloing a D-rank quest, but he's just a clueless rookie, while the archer blames him for starting beef without the strength to back it up. Shouting over them, the squad leader complains they wasted way too much time hunting him down, calling this a final lesson before he dies. Still on the ground, our boy raises a shield and asks who sent them, saying he at least deserves to know why he's dying. Smirking, the leader figures there's no harm in telling a dead man. He spills the beans, revealing it was the Zhang family's young master, Zhang Tong. Then he charges forward, screaming that their boss wants our MC dead. The leader lands a brutal, point-blank hit on our boy. Watching the whole thing, Leah is completely terrified. Our guy just repeats the name Zhang Tong with a totally different look in his eyes. Confirming his suspicions, he says only Zhang Tong would pull something this dirty, leaving the assassins completely speechless. The brute turns around and is floored to see another Su Ming standing there, wondering how there can be two of him. With a scoff, the real Su Ming explains that was just a clone from one of his skills. Realizing they got played, the assassins freeze up while our MC checks their stats, noting the archer is level 23 and the mage is 25. He remembers that to keep things fair, the rules say level gaps in fights between awakens can't cross 10 levels. Anyone breaking that rule gets a global bounty, so he figures their levels definitely cap out at 30. Spotting the armored swordsman is level 27 and the strongest of the bunch, he decides to start by wiping out the weakest link. In a flash, our boy dashes straight at the archer. Moving at cracked speeds, he leaps right at the ranged fighter. The archer can barely react, completely stunned by our hero's fast charge. In the blink of an eye, our guy already has his blade pressed right against the archer's neck. Warning him not to move a muscle, he reminds him that fatal spots aren't measured by a health bar. Furious, the squad's mage calls him a despicable scumbag, calmly replying that the neck is definitely a fatal spot. Our MC says what's really despicable is shooting someone in the back with an arrow like they did. The brute leader just laughs it off, calling our boy a fresh rookie and doubting he actually has the guts to take a hostage. Keeping up the taunts, he asks if our hero has ever actually taken a life before, warning that the first time never feels good. But our boy just stays him down, showing zero emotion. And then, with zero hesitation, he finishes the archer off with a single clean strike, leaving the squad leader completely speechless. Flashing a cold smile, our boy says it actually feels pretty good. The mage is horrified, pointing out our guy didn't even blink and attacked way too smoothly. Mocking them back, our MC figures the leader's level must be under 30 to take this job, meaning in the awakened world he's barely above a rookie, and asks if taking a few bounty quests makes them pro assassins. He then drops some bad news, revealing with a wicked grin that the amount of enemies he wiped out in his past life is unmeasurable. And that's where it gets crazy. Shrinking back, Leah is terrified by that dark confession. Right after he dashes in and slices the mage's hand clean off, the sheer speed of the strike is completely unmatched. Screaming in pain, the mage drops from the surprise attack. Our boy explains that hands aren't fatal spots and just chip away at health, noting that as a mage, even with a higher level, her speed was no match for his blade. Just then, the squad leader jumps in with his circular blade heavy strike, but our MC easily steps aside. Analyzing the fight, our guy figures even though the swordsman is 7 levels higher and built for strength, his agility and speed stats are almost identical to his own. He counters by aiming right at the leader, but the brute just laughs it off, asking if our boy is just trying to tickle him. Mid-fight, our MC realizes the massive stat gap from their levels is seriously nerfing his attack damage. Recalling the rules of the Awakened world, he knows life or death brawls don't use the same math as monster fights, relying heavily on base health instead. However, that only applies to normal hits on the body, since years ago players found a quick execution method by striking fatal areas for a massive damage multiplier. Landing a hit on a vital spot has a huge chance to just bypass health stats entirely and score a quick finish. The catch is, fighting an opponent with a higher level makes the chance of a critical strike on a vital spot way lower. But when facing a higher level enemy, the odds of landing a critical hit on those vital areas drop off a cliff, so all he has to do now is wait for the perfect opening. The leader tells the mage to shut up, promising to find a high-level healer once they cash in the bounty, flexing how important level stats really are. Getting the picture, our boy knows this is going to be a war of attrition, but then a clever idea pops into his head. He figures he can pull off a classic move, using someone else's blade to do the dirty work. Our guy glances back and readies himself for the next move. The leader spots this and yells that our boy is trying to run away. Pushing off the ground, our MC dashes forward. He gains distance fast, leaving the 2 assassins far behind. The brute complains his heavy combat class is way too slow to catch up, asking if the mage can lock him down with a spell, and she promises she'll keep her eyes glued to him even missing a hand. Triggering her aim skill, she screams for him to taste her ultimate move. The furious mage fires her deep destiny ice arrows straight at our boy, but our guy sidesteps the attack like it's child's play, and using his sword control, he takes to the sky, weaving right through the trees. Shocked to see him flying, the mage freezes up, but the leader reminds her he's a sword controller and barks at her to spam more skills to shoot him down. Leah just watches all the energy arrows zipping by. Completely amazed, she is left in awe of our boy's crack skills. Our MC keeps styling on them, flying flawlessly through the forest. Checking his 6, he wonders if that homing attack is still on his tail. Much to his satisfaction, the ice arrow is still right behind him. Blade in hand, he finally approaches the giant snake's nest. Using his perception, he lines up the perfect shot. He waits for that ice arrow to smash right into the sleeping beast. Back on the ground, the enemy mage wonders if she hit her mark, but quickly brushes it off since her magic skill auto-locks anyway. But then both of them hear this weird noise, and the brute mutters that it sounds like something is falling right out of the sky, and his eyes go wide in pure shock. Out of nowhere, the massive serpent crashes right in front of them, and the brute recognizes it as their subjugation target. Slamming into the dirt, the monster shatters the ground and sends both of them flying from the heavy impact. A status window confirms it's a giant poison python, a level 26 boss rocking skills like tough skin and hellish strangle. Eyes glowing bright red with venom dripping from its fangs, the snake locks in. As a system prompt says, it found its aggro target. Turning into the main target, the mage sprints for her life in total panic. While the snake chases her down spitting corrosive venom, the woman screams, wondering why the beast is only hunting her and ignoring the crippled guy. Hiding in the shadows, our boy calmly answers that it's super obvious. He breaks it down, saying her skill was the first thing to wake the boss, so naturally it wants her dead, though he admits a mage's damage is pretty solid. The snake's health bar shows her ultimate move shaved off a whole 1/5 of its HP, leaving our MC genuinely impressed. Our boy smirks, noting that her heavy hit is gonna make killing this boss way easier later on. Taking advantage of the distracted snake, the brute charges up his heavy strike skill, triggering Mighty Blade. Pure power surges straight toward the monster. The giant snake roars in agony as the surprise attack lands flush. The warrior's heavy slash connects perfectly, tearing open a massive wound. Roaring a battle cry, he screams for the snake to die, dead set on landing a fatal blow. That suppression heavy strike triggers a massive damage explosion right on the python. Watching from afar, our boy admits a heavy weapon warrior's raw strength is seriously cracked. He figures his plan to wear them both out was definitely the right call and preps to wrap this whole fight up. Seeing her teammates step up, the mage sighs in relief, thinking she's finally safe. But out of nowhere, she hears our boy's voice telling her not to celebrate just yet. Before she can even react, our guy pops up behind her and strikes, reminding her he's still in the game. the brute curses him out, complaining that now our MC is the one pulling sneak attacks. Thanks to the distraction, the snake recovers and opens its jaws wide, ready for round 2. But our boy reappears far away from the warrior, asking with a grin if he needs a hand. Sweating bullets, the brute glares back and calls him a complete scumbag. Our guy steps back, mentioning that the brute should have caught on by now. Gripping his sword tight, he adds that now the enemy knows exactly how miserable it feels to get ambushed. Our MC then thanks them for the carry, pointing out the snake's HP is down to just a third. To make things worse, the warrior's heavy strike shattered the beast's scales, tanking its damage resistance big time. Furious at realizing he did all that hard work for nothing, the brute starts swearing at our boy, but before he can even make a move, the snake lunges right at the warrior. The beast swallows the brute completely whole, and using his sword control, he pierces straight through the python's head, finishing it off and noting everything just fell right into his lap. Standing in the smoke, Leah watches the whole scene while panting heavily. Her eyes go incredibly wide in pure shock. She stares at the defeated giant snake and whispers that he actually pulled it off. Checking out the loot drops, our boy thinks they aren't half bad, while Leah realizes that this guy really avenged her, and she starts crying out of pure gratitude. Watching the monster's body fade away, our boy figures a D-rank subjugation quest has to drop some juicy loot. But suddenly he stops and glances back, demanding to know who's hiding there. A mysterious figure chilling on a branch warns him not to worry about who's there, but to worry about himself, leaving our MC entirely stunned. Smiling maliciously, the hooded guy says that without even noticing, our boy already stepped right into his trap, and no one saw that coming. Our guy notices his hand shaking and starts worrying about his own body. Trying to move, he quickly realizes he completely lost control of his limbs. Then it hits him that he's fully paralyzed. He scrambles to figure out when he got hit, since he already executed those assassins. Ruling out an attack from the serpent, he knows it isn't venom, wondering how he got tagged without any physical contact. The mystery guy quotes the old mantis stalking the cicada while the bird waits behind, admitting he never expected to find such a free kill. He explains he didn't think anyone would take the D-17 subjugation today, revealing himself as an assassin-type awakened who just stumbled onto this whole messy brawl. Suming asks if he's just another goon sent to drop him, but the man says it'd be foolish not to claim him as bonus loot. Mocking him, the assassin asks if our MC is joking, wondering if a fresh level 21 awakened student is actually worth such a fat bounty. Our boy quickly triggers his eye of perception, thinking Jung Tong was actually smart enough to send backup hitmen after the first squad choked. The man readies his weapon, guaranteeing it'll be a quick, painless hit, and brags that his critical attack slash will end our boy instantly. Looking closely, a status window shows the assassin's name is Ding Pan, a level 27 disguiser with stealth skills and a move called Traceless Paralysis Transmission. Our boy checks the opponent's level and figures out that Paralysis Transmission skill is exactly what's keeping him frozen. RNC then asks if the mist was what triggered the paralysis effect, leaving Ding Pan completely floored. The assassin is left totally speechless, stuttering as he asks how our boy exposed his secret. Smirking, our boy says it was just a lucky guess, adding he also knows the timer on that paralysis effect is almost up. Freaking out, the assassin has no clue how that's possible, yelling that the paralysis should still have 1 minute and 2 seconds on the clock. He quickly corrects himself, stating it's exactly a minute, and brags that his paralysis transmission is a slow burn poison lasting up to 2 minutes. Smiling to himself, our boy is glad he baited the idiot into exposing the skill's effect, but stresses over that 2-minute timer being way too long. Ding Pan finally catches on to the trap, screaming that our MC is completely playing him. He yells that our hero has absolutely no clue what his skill's real duration is. Hearing that, our guy realizes he's right and that he actually still has a fighting chance to survive. He then casually reads off all 4 of the assassin's skills out loud, laughing at the fact that he doesn't even have a single active damage skill. Ding Pan is stunned, demanding to know how he sees his skills, while our boy just taunts that he's terrified of getting clowned when the paralysis ends. Firing back, the assassin claims his raw stats are more than enough even without active skills, but our MC dares him to a fair one-on-one when the effect fades. Ding Pan straight up refuses, so our boy mocks him, saying he's actually scared of a fresh, awakened rookie. Furious, the enemy tells him to shut his mouth, stating talk is cheap and agreeing to fight the second our boy can move again. But out of nowhere, Leah jumps in and strikes with her illusory color claw hit, leaving the assassin completely stunned. She warns him she won't let him hurt our guy since he's the one who avenged her village. blocking the attack just in time. The assassin questions what the heck that thing even is. Then he recognizes her, wondering out loud if she's a beast skin from the illusory realm. She drops to the ground, totally dazed. Disgusted, he steps toward her, screaming that a mere level 3 beast daring to help an awaken is just like begging for a death wish. Our boy catches the scene and yells, "Hey," making it clear the assassin is the one who's gonna die today. Feeling the blade pressed right against his neck, the assassin completely freezes in shock. And with a smirk, our MC lets him know that he's actually the one whose run ends right here. In a flash, our boy finishes the enemy off without breaking a sweat. He notes the guy was pretty weak but didn't expect the loot drops to be this stacked, as Leah lets out a scared meow. Calming her down, our boy tells her not to panic since the awakened girl is out cold and won't hurt them, adding that he never takes out women anyway. Passed out cold, the enemy mage is still laying right there on the dirt. Scooping up all the loot, our boy announces he's heading out to finish his second-class change quest. Desperate for help, Leah calls out and begs to tag along, explaining she's completely homeless now and he's a good guy for avenging her. But when she asks him to become her master, our MC hits her with a flat-out no, leaving the cat girl completely shocked. With tears in her eyes, she reminds him that he just saved her life. Instead of answering, our boy tosses a scroll right at her. The item is a platinum disguiser skill scroll teaching Blood Wave Surge, a cracked assassination move that buffs crit rate and deals massive bleed damage. Breaking it down, he explains she's way too weak right now and would just slow him down. He then drops some solid advice, telling her to grind in this familiar zone since that skill scroll will give her a huge power spike. Waving goodbye, he promises they'll meet again, hoping she'll be a badass illusory realm assassin by then. Right after he consumes the 1000-year purple vein Lingji dropped by the giant poison python, instantly leveling up all 5 of his core stats. Flashing an alert, the system confirms he cleared the 3rd advancement quest, promoting him to Sword God and buffing all stats by 10%. As a bonus field reward, he picks up a diary belonging to the assassin Ding Pan. Reading through the pages, the diary reveals details about his latest targets, including our boy himself. The system notes this item can actually be turned in over at Quest Hall 63. Back at the hub, 2 adventurers are arguing, with one furious guy quitting the squad because teaming with a rookie almost wiped them out on an M-rank quest, while the other blames bad healing. Walking away, the guy tells him they're done, while nearby awakened complain they should have grabbed a harder run since K-rank loot is just a massive waste of time. Someone else chimes in, pointing out it was only an easy clear because of a teammate's cracked class, while our boy notices tons of players already finished their runs. Spotting a familiar face, the crowd hypes up a woman named Mo Mei for clearing an F-rank quest, crediting her win to a low-key 10-star exorcist on her squad, while she asks Bai Yi to hit her up before the next run. Annoyed by her screen, she sighs and complains that he hung up on her again. Frustrated, his vibe is still ice cold even after clearing the quest together. Out of nowhere, Momei's attention gets grabbed by someone screaming, "Look over there," leaving her completely confused. Pointing straight at the quest board, an adventurer screams that somebody just cleared a D-rank mission with platinum tier loot, completely dropping Momei's jaw. Those 2 guys who were arguing earlier just stare in pure shock, confirming it really is a D-rank clear notification. Flashing a massive "Sictory" for Quest D17, our boy's silhouette pops up on screen, and the crowd goes absolutely wild, wondering what kind of genius just bodied a D-rank boss. The hot-headed guy from earlier turns ghost white, thinking there's no way it's real and he has to be seeing things. And that's where it gets crazy. A reward chest drops with a diamond symbol on it, making someone scream in disbelief about how the loot is an even higher tier. Sweating bullets, Momei is left completely stunned as she mutters to herself about how that guy actually pulled it off. With all eyes on him, our boy just stands there looking completely badass. So if you want the next part, drop a like, hit the bell, and get hyped for the next video.